atmosphere. Move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. Rise like the day, rise up. In spite of the ache, I will rise 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up, high like the waves. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Tap, tap, tap the screen. Let's see if we can get up to our first goal of 1.5K likes. How's everybody doing out there? Tap, tap, tap the screen. Continue. Go ahead and open up your contacts and share the live. Let's see if we can get up to our first goal of 1.5K likes. Thank you for joining over here this morning, Mr.Denali XXL. Thank you so much for coming in. If you could, when you get into the room, let's tap the screen so we can get this out to the For You page. I definitely would appreciate it. Go ahead and share the live so that we can continue to grow the most inclusive space here on TikTok. Tap, tap, tap the screen. Let's get this pushed out. If you guys could help me out with that, I would greatly appreciate it as we continue to build the most inclusive space here on TikTok. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Down here in Atlanta, it was a little overcast. We had one day of sunshine. And what's up, my man Kobe? Where you been at, bro? Where you been? So we'll get started here in a minute, but tap, tap, tap the screen. Let's push this out to the For You page. All right, tap, tap, tap the screen. Let's go. Let's see we get up. Tap, 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 tap. Thank you so much for joining this morning. Where are my glasses? Boy, I tell you, getting old. Tap, tap, tap the screen. Let's push this out to the For You page. We got 32 people in here. All we need is half. What's up, Sean? When you out of jail, sir? Are you out of jail? Have you been released? Tap, tap, tap the screen. Share the live. Let's push this out to the For You page. We got 30 people in here. Half the people tap for okay tomorrow. Fantastic. Your voice has been missed, even though you have caused a little challenge and trouble in the comment section. Thank you for keeping the comment section on fire. Tap, tap, tap the screen, guys. Come on, let's go. Let's push this out to the For You page so we can continue to grow and be the most inclusive space here on TikTok. Thank you so much for tapping. Don't forget to share the live. We got a lot to talk about today. Let's go ahead and tap, tap the screen. Can't wait to have you back up, Sean. Your voice has been missed, sir. Continue to tap. DEI space. Okay, Kobe. How are things down in Florida, Kobe? Good? You apologize to her. Don't know why she really didn't know she really had issues. We gotta sometimes listen what I call with a third ear when people could be have some challenges. We gotta make sure that we wrap them up and try to be as kind as possible. And sometimes you have to handle with kitty gloves, and you gotta recognize that. Good morning, Natasha. Good to see you. Happy Monday to you. How was your weekend? Kobe, why don't you send some of that sunshine up this way because we've been overcast. Tap, tap, tap. Like, we got 36 people and we got 279 likes. Like, again, support is a verb. We have to push this out to the... Good morning, Karen Land. How are you? How are you, ma'am? Good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. I know challenging anniversary, and I did send you a message and I did get yours back. I definitely appreciate it. But I wanted to reach out to you, let you know that the community over here was thinking about you in that time. Let's go. Tap, tap, tap. Let's get up to our first goal of 1.5K likes. I definitely appreciate it. Open up your contacts and send this out to 5 to 10 of your favorite people so that we can continue to grow and be the most inclusive space here on TikTok. We're going to be talking about Donald Trump this morning. The comment that he made. I'd like to hear what the audience thinks about the comment. Also still going to be talking about immigration reform. Fonnie Willis will still be on everybody's mind because I think she dropped the ball, and unfortunately I don't believe that case will come to the courtroom before the November 4th election. And I think that's a win for Trump. I really do think that's a win for him. So we'll see how that plays out. But I do not believe that case will come to the courtroom before the November 4th elections. Especially with the judge dropping those 6 charges. She's probably going to go back to the grand jury to get more definition of the 6 charges. And that's just going to delay it. And I don't think there's a way that case is going to go to court prior to the November 4th election. So she dropped the ball because she wanted to have a relationship with the top prosecutor. She's got to find a prosecutor now, and when Nathan Wade was her third choice, so I don't know if she's going to be able to find a prosecutor, deal with those 6 charges that would drop, and take him to court before the November 4th elections. And I would say that is definitely a win for Donald Trump. So that's what I think. She definitely did drop the ball, and I think she put herself ahead of the case. So, I also want to talk about this weekend. A guy came into the live and threatened to flag it for misinformation. If you see it, there's a clip on my page about that. And I wish that we could normalize this healthy debate. We can agree to disagree, that's a real thing. But to come into the room and threaten to flag it because he didn't like what the guy said, and the guy didn't say anything, any misinformation. He was giving his opinion of why he was continuing to support Biden. And it seemed like that guy was a Biden supporting because he said that Biden was a racist, and he did the eulogy for the former Klansman Byrd. I think he was a senator in West Virginia. So I'd like for us just to normalize healthy debates without having to threaten people and things like that, because I don't take well the threat. I didn't appreciate it. I thought it was uncalled for, and I definitely let him know. And we were able to get him out of the room, because I don't see a reason for flagging. Have the conversation, and then go from there and agree to disagree. I think the challenge is that we kind of want to live in echo spaces, echo chambers, and I don't think that's good, because I don't think that helps you to expand your thinking and challenge your thinking. And I want my thinking challenged. And it's challenged all the time over here. People call me out all the time. I am not above reproach. So that guy I was not a fan of. So let's go. Okay, we're almost at the first goal. Thank you, my man, One Live Mike. One Live Mike, give that brother a follow. He's a good friend of the program. I think he has enough. Well, we're trying to get him. He needs 40 more followers so that he'll be able to come up. He is a moderator in the space. So if you see that brother, go ahead and give him a follow. Let's get him up over the 200. I think he's at 150, somewhere around there. And we'll see if we can get him up over there. Over that. And then I had my son on the show this morning, Saturday morning. And if you guys saw the clip on my page, he told me that he's not going to vote. He's 90% sure that he's not voting, which was a complete, utter shock to me. We talked about voting. I take him to the polls since he was 10 years old, and he said he's just not. You're welcome, One Live Mike. Get that brother a follow. He said he's not. He's uninspired basically by the two choices, and he's choosing possibly to sit out his first time that he can vote. So what does that really say about the young people? He's 18. I mean, he said you got two old guys, geriatric, and he's not inspired by them. They do not offer any inspiration. So he said he's not going to vote. I'm going to work on him, because my grandfather is probably rolling over in his grave knowing that his great-grandson, first time being able to vote, is not going to participate. So I've been talking with him again, and not pushy, but just giving him, again, the importance of voting, and we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for tapping the screen. Thank you for the likes. Also follow my backup page, which is Mr.Denali XL. Just in case anything happens to double XL, I want to have a backup so we can still continue to grow the most inclusive space here on TikTok. Natashay, how did your paper go? I know you were writing a paper. How did that go for you over the weekend? We had a marathon show on Saturday. We did like 13 hours still writing. Okay, all right, good luck. I know that you'll do a great job. That is give Natashay a follow. She's a moderator over here. She is a very good moderator and very, very intelligent sister. So give her a follow. What do you guys think about that comment by Trump? Sean, what do you think about that comment by Trump? That it's going to be a bloodbath. They don't follow the news. And their parents back in the slavery time had. What is that? They don't follow the news. And what our parents and grandparents back in the slavery time? I'm not sure what that means. I get things Trump says. What do you mean you get things Trump? What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means. I'm off today to finish up. That allows me to hang out with you guys today. Well, you know, Natasha, you're always welcome as a moderator and just as a guest. You always bring a fresh perspective, and you always bring receipts. He was talking about the car industry. Another thing, not a liberal physical, a liberal physical blood. Do you think other Trump supporters were able to get that nuance in there? Or do you think liberals were able to get that nuance? Because it kind of exploded. I mean, my DMs were flooded with the whole conversation about him saying that. So it was I thought it was interesting how that happened, and all people heard was the bloodbath part. And I was like, what? He didn't say that, did he? But I mean, good morning. Good morning. How are you? How are you? Okay. I see you in there. This is the first time I see you. I see you now. 100%. I don't think a lot of people watched the whole clip. I did. And as Sean said, he was not talking about. Thank you, Pashi. I appreciate the rose. Right back at you. He was not talking about the election, that if he does not win, that it will be a literal bloodbath in the streets. Absolutely. But people took it and ran with it. Absolutely, Caroline. I agree with you 100%. If you don't listen to the whole thing, then you think he's talking about that. If he does, he's talking about, listen, I think he understood what he was doing, kind of implying that, trying to set fire to the liberals, and I think they took the bait, in my opinion. I think they took the bait 100%. Because he wasn't talking about a repeat of January 6th. Not saying a repeat of January 6th might not happen on a smaller level, but he wasn't talking about that. Thank you so much, Pashi. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, it's interesting, but the liberals took it, the left took it and kind of ran with it. And the narrative was that he was talking about the election and a repeat of January 6th. I do not think that's what he was talking about, but I think he just let it out there. He's a master manipulator. He is a master salesman. He is a master provocateur. He is a master marketer. Oh, thank you for the crown. Thank you. I appreciate that. He's a master at it. And the liberals fall for it every time, hook, line, and sinker. Because my DMs were flooded. I had about 22 DMs. Did you see this? You got to talk about this. And I'm like, what? What bloodbath? What's going on? And after I listened to the comments, I said, okay. But I could see how people just hear that one piece. Because we do live in a soundbite world. Where you hear a soundbite, and then you take it and you run with it. And everybody ran with it. A lot of people did. Without listening to the full clip. And he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. He is so masterful at that. And we fall for it every single time. Hey, continue to tap the screen. 3.4. Let's get up our next goal of 5,000 likes. I definitely appreciate it. I got a gift goal of 100 ice cream cones. If you guys could do a group effort and get with the ice cream cone, that would be fantastic. I definitely appreciate it. Absolutely, Sean. Absolutely. I think he did it on purpose. I really do think he did it on purpose. And people just took it and ran with it. I was like, wow, that's wild. Considering, thank you for the rose, Pashi. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, we got the subscription. I think it's up there. I have to go in and let me see. Oh yeah, it's in there. So if you also have a subscription, you can get subscribed for as little as $2.69. Because we will be having some subscription only lives at some point here in the very near future, as we continue to go deep into the 2024 election season. Okay, been doing it ever since. Sean, we can't wait. I get a lot of DMs about you, like, when is Sean coming back? So you definitely are missed with your 10 days or 8 days in jail, in TikTok jail. Can't wait to have you back on the show, my brother from another. Look at that. Absolutely, Nana Shay. I second that 100%. Tap, tap, tap the screen. Share the live. Send it out to 5 to 10 of your favorite people. And let's get this pushed out to the For You page. We had a great live on Saturday. It went a lot of different places. It got very emotional in here. If you remember, Duke kind of broke up a little bit as he was talking about his big mama. And I thought it was a very, very good live. I was really happy with the live on Saturday. It went a lot of different places. DJ, if you know DJ, she's another content creator. She's really, really good. She kind of does a little political like myself. And she was in here for most of the live. And we had a great conversation. It was very, very flowing. And it went a lot of different places. And I was really, really proud of the show on Saturday. Kind of an impromptu show because I've committed to going to live on Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. or 8 a.m.-ish. And you're scared. What are you scared of? Crazy facts. What are you scared of, sir? Tell me what you're scared of. Yeah, but did you look, crazy fact, did you look at the whole thing? Did you look at the video? You got to look at the whole video. And you'll kind of see what he was talking about. Now, whether or not his people heard the nuance in there, I can't say. Definitely the left did not hear the nuance or didn't want to hear the nuance. I don't know which one it was. But there definitely was nuance to it. And you got to watch the clip to get the nuance of the clip. Cars don't bleed. I think it was a play on words. He was talking about well, anyway, we'll talk about this later, but I'm interested in what the audience thinks. Because like I said, I got about 22 DMs about that clip and how I should talk about it on the show. And then I watched the clip and I got a better understanding of what he was actually talking about. Absolutely, Nata Shape. 4.4, we're almost there. Tap, tap, tap. Half the people, you tap for 25 seconds, we can definitely push that up. So continue to tap, continue to share. I definitely appreciate it. Right, bloodbath financially to our country. 100%. 100%, Sean. You're absolutely right. You're like me, broken clock. You're going to be right twice a day. You already got one right. Let's see if we can get another one for you. Tap, tap, tap. Tap the screen. We're halfway there. If we can get to the other half, we'll be in really good shape. Thank you, Nata Shay, for telling everyone to tap, tap, tap. She is a great moderator. I really do appreciate what she does for the channel. As well as Dr. Shay, Mia, One Live Mike, and Hunter Girl Rhea. Oh, thank you so much, Crystal. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. You know, I got a big compliment over the weekend. A guy, a corrections officer from Rikers Island, in New York City, which is my hometown. And he said him and his buddies listen to the show. They've been listening for about 3 weeks now. And it was like a huge compliment for me. I really enjoyed him telling me that. All the way to work. Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Down in Louisiana at DOT, Department of Transportation, thank you for what you do down there. The DOT is very, very important to keep the roads safe, keep truckers honest, make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do out there on the road. Thank you so much. Tap, tap, tap. We're doing it. Absolutely. Where are you located, Crystal? What state are you in? Thank you so much. We're almost there. And then we'll get some people up into the box and we'll have a good conversation today about this comment. Oklahoma. Do you not like Oklahoma? I mean, it's not a destination place, but I think every state here in the union has its own uniqueness. Tennessee is a beautiful state. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I have never been to Oklahoma. Not yet. To be honest, it's not on my list. But from what I hear about it, it's a beautiful state. Did anybody do anything interesting this weekend? Let's see here. Let's see. All right, we're at 7K. 3K to go. Let's go. Let's go, everybody. Tap, tap, tap. Let's get it up. Don't forget to share the live. And we'll get this conversation going here in a second. Where's my main man Duke at? Duke came in here and he dropped some history on us on Saturday. With some of the DJ was in here as well as some other young ladies. Mia was in here as well. And he dropped some science. He dropped, some history. And his voice cracked. It's like he got very, very emotional. Dr. Shay, good morning. Paige and Dr. Shay, how are you this morning? My man Big T also came in and dropped some history. He gave us a little piece into his history, got a little testimony. I really appreciate that, brother. He's a good watcher and supporter of Mr.Denali XXL. Appreciate Big T. My man Blacklight, if he's listening, Blacklight, what's going on, bro? I got a message that you said that you're not coming back over here. Come on and talk about it. What exactly did I do to Blacklight? I'd like for him to tell me. Maybe I made a mistake. I don't know. I like to hear what Blacklight has to say. Don't forget to follow my backup page, Mr.Denali XL, instead of double XL. XL is the backup page just in case anything happens to the main page. Because we did have a threat this weekend. Somebody said that they were going to flag the live because they didn't like what somebody said when they were supporting Biden. Benjamin, my man, what's going on, Benjamin? How you doing this morning? Top of the morning to you, sir. Benjamin is a good supporter. He's got a great perspective on certain things. We had a little bit of relationship talk. We had some political talk. We had some family talk. Duke is in the house from H-Town. What's going on? What say you, Duke? Top of the morning to you, sir. Your girl kicked me out this morning. I thought that was a little harsh, but you know, it was her life to do what she wanted to do. All right. right, we're at 8.8. We need one more, 1.2, and then we'll start bringing people up. 1.2, 1.2. Let's tap, tap, tap the screen. A lot of things happened over the weekend. I had a little fun this weekend. Weather, like I said, was a little overcast. We did have a little sun on Saturday. Sunday was very, very overcast. Tap, 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 tap. Let's get over that 10K. As Nada Shay has asked us to get over 10K to push this out to the For You page. More people watching means more members of the family and more people to be in the most inclusive space on TikTok. Tap, 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 tap. Share the live with your friends, family. Let them know the movement that we're making over here so that we can continue to grow and become the most inclusive space here on TikTok. Thank you so much for coming. Also, as we get more people in, go ahead and follow me. Make sure that you have the notifications on so that you know when we are going live. Also, follow the panel once we get the panel up, and that way you know when they're going live, and give them a follow as well. Like I've been saying, I will continue to say that support is a verb. It is not a noun. All right, we did it. Thank you guys. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dr. Shay, I'm doing well. How are you, ma'am? You did it. 10K. 10K in the first 20 minutes. Fantastic.
Oh, great, great.
Nada Shay, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are y'all
Thank you for
today?
your suggestion. I usually don't do that, but you suggested it, so I have your back, and they went ahead and did it. I appreciate the audience for tapping, getting us over the 10K. Thank you so much, Nana Shay, for that suggestion.
Yeah, you should do that every live so you can start off on a good note. Um,
Absolutely, you are absolutely correct.
yeah, it's not that hard to tap and get to 10,000, guys. It's not. Good morning, Dr. Shay. I have something I want to say to you.
Okay.
So yesterday I was scrolling along. Good morning, everyone in the comments, and I came across Oil Spills Live.
Oh, okay.
I was trying, sis, to get in that box. They would not let me up. I thought it was terrible. And I was trying to tell you to leave. They kept taking my comment down.
Oh,
I hit the request button to come up because I felt like it was just too many. First of all, men just not even giving you the opportunity. It was such an echo chamber. And they weren't giving you the opportunity to speak. I felt it was so unfair. And I kept saying, balance the panel. And it just made me realize just how good we have it over here because we do not allow for that in this live. We don't allow the bully mentality. We don't allow people to just get up here and jump on one person. I was so mad. And it's not that, I just wanted them to give you the opportunity to be heard. And they weren't even doing that. They were trying to talk over you, especially that gentleman that was in the bottom of the thing. And I just was scrolling along. And after a while I was just trying to send you a message to leave, sis. They were just doing it wrong. I don't like that. So
yeah, that's what I was telling Mr. Denali. Like, you can't even get a word in. They was just like, just jumping, and they don't listen, and then they're gonna try to tell you things and not listen to no facts or have a dialogue over there. It was a mess over there. But then he got shut down. I don't know who shut him down.
yeah. Yeah. Good, because it was a mess. And whenever we get into lives like that, I would encourage us to leave because actually they need to, after a while, if it's an echo chamber, people get bored and they'll scroll. But if they have one person up there that have an opposing view, all we do is drive their numbers up. If they're not giving you the chance to be heard and they're not even trying to hear what you're saying, just roll out of their lives because you're just helping them by being a voice of opposition so they can get their live up. You understand what I'm saying?
Got you. You're right. You know what? I got you. I'm gonna take your advice. That's for sure.
Because they weren't trying to let you get no help. And it wasn't even that I was trying to help you. I was just trying to get up there to be a voice to say, hey, let her get a complete thought out because they were all jumping in. It's just not, that's not cool how to run a live. So that's why I appreciate it over here. We need to keep our intelligence and our viewpoints where they're welcomed. So yeah.
And I think they probably got shut down because they started to go in on Martin Luther King, like being
Really?
disrespectful. Oh yeah, they was disrespectful to Dr. Martin Luther King. What did he do? He didn't do anything. And I said, okay, let me tell you. Every time I'm trying to explain, oh no,
Oh, they were pro Martin Luther King, but they were saying he didn't do anything?
they was going against Martin Luther King. They said he didn't do anything. What did Martin Luther King do? What did Martin Luther King do? And it's like you can never take the legacy of that man, regardless, ever.
No, absolutely not. He gave his life for us to have more freedoms. Yeah, listen, everybody might not agree the way he did it, turning the other cheek and things like that. But I think when you're fighting something like that, you have to have a several prong approach.
Yep.
And it's not just one way, it's more than one way to get to 9. You can go 8 plus 1, 5 plus 4, 7 plus 2, and you still get to 9. So, many voices are needed, in my opinion. The more voices, the better. That's why we're building the most inclusive space on TikTok over here at Mr.Denali XXL. I'm waiting for Duke to come back because I went into a live this morning where I saw him and they kicked me out of there.
What happened? Could you tell us what happened?
Well, I woke up. This is probably around, I don't know, 6:30 or something. And I'm just scrolling and I see Duke come up and he's somewhere. And I said, okay, let's see what Duke's talking about in other lives. And I go in. Hey, Kobe. And she let me up. And I said, hey, what's happening, Duke? K Diamond. Her name was Black Diamond, I think it was. And I said, what's going on, Duke? Because Duke was in the live on Saturday. And he had got a little emotional. So, And he said, hey, when you going live? And I said, yeah, I'll be back at 8 a.m. And I said, but I didn't come over here. No, 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 no. You don't even follow me. And before I could say anything, she dismissed me because I didn't follow her. I didn't know who she was. I still don't know who she is. I just came and I put in the comments, I saw Duke was on your panel and I came up. I didn't have no problem following her, but she never gave me an opportunity to say anything in my defense because I didn't know who the lady was. I don't know her live. I've never been in her live. I think I probably have seen it, but I've never participated or commented or anything. I don't even know what she talks about. And she just let me out. And I said, all right, well, I'm gone. No problem. You don't got to worry about that. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I think when I looked at her, she had like 190,000 followers. And she said I was trying to take some of her shine from my life as if it was some kind of ploy for me to clout chase or to ride on her coattails. I'm like, what? I don't even know who you are. I swear I don't know who you are. I think her name was Black Diamond, if I'm not mistaken. Have you ever heard of her, Dr. Shay? Or Nata Shay?
No. I've seen some of her. Like scrolling. I've seen some of her videos, but I think people get really confused with TikTok fame and real life. I mean, I think they're trying to bring us into the virtual reality where we live our lives on the social media platforms, and
Right.
people get to a certain amount of followers and they believe, oh my God, I'm famous. But what people and I scroll a lot, and what people don't understand about TikTok is people are constantly being poured in. So the words you said 5 minutes ago, they might not have been there for. So when people come into your life, they're constantly being filtered in. So you don't know whether they're going to follow you if you bring them up. If you bring them up and they don't follow you, you see that they're not your follower. So I don't know. I think these people are getting a little confused with TikTok fame. I think.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know who you are. Like, I'm not coming here to do anything other than, yes, the reason I joined it was because of Duke, but I wasn't trying to steal any of your shine or whatever. That's not how I operate. And she did not give me an opportunity to explain myself. I would not have done that because you don't have to follow me to come up into the box. You know
Right,
what I'm
people will
saying?
follow you
Ho-
eventually if they like
Hopefully
your
that you
content.
like what you're hearing, you like how we're running things, and you want to follow. I'm not going to make anybody follow. I've seen it where I've tried to go into a live and they say, well, you got to follow first. And I mean, I don't guess I don't have a problem, but I do have a problem when people try to make me do something. It's all voluntary. You know what I mean? So she summarily dismissed me. I said, "Wow, okay. I guess that's how she run things over there. So you're not gonna take my shine." And I'm like, I'm
Do
not
you know
trying to
how
take your shine.
long TikTok, before TikTok got really popular? I came over to TikTok and I used to watch the videos before they got this whole live
Thank you,
stream,
dudes. Thank you,
when it
dudes.
just when it was just 7 seconds that you get and 10 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, TikTok has come a long way, and their platform has a technology that the other platforms don't have. Like
Right.
Facebook, you can go live, but you can't go live in this platform.
Hmm.
So I think people are getting way too serious about, follows and unfollows. I think people don't understand. That's why I don't block anybody, because you know the more they engage, whether it's good, bad, or negative, I still get the credit. You understand what I mean? Even if
Right.
they're down there in the comments cussing me out and saying your engagement pushes my live, so I don't really care. But they're getting
Hmm.
really serious with this follow, unfollow, and you can't come. They're serious about that, and I'm like, this
Right.
is TikTok, guys.
I know. I'm just like,
It's
calm
crazy.
down. I mean,
It's not a
I
lot.
don't want anybody that does not want to be here. Okay, if you don't want to be here, don't be here. It's no problem. There's 170 million active TikTok members that are, have the app and everything like that. But the way that she did it, I wasn't a big fan. Not the way I would handle it. She didn't even give me an opportunity to follow and to stay and have a conversation. She just, no, 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 you're not going to take my shine. And I was like, lady, I got 2,800 followers. You got 190,000. Like, calm down. Just relax. Just a taste. So we'll see what Duke's perspective was when he comes back up. JP Strong, how you doing this morning, dear? How are you?
Somebody said I block like hell.
Blocking only works if the person you block is trying to get in contact with you.
Right.
If I don't know that you block me because I'm not trying to contact you, it doesn't really work. So
Right.
that's my opinion on blocking. So good morning, JP. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How's everybody?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Everybody is good. No complaints here. Dr. Shay,
We
how are
still need to
you?
be double tapping though, guys. We got the 10,000 installed. We got to keep tapping so this can go out to the For You page and more people can be filtered in. That's the way the algorithm works. So if you're going to be here, please double tap your screen to get the likes up so that the live can be shared.
Absolutely, 100%. Excuse me, Nada Shay. Nada Shay
Everybody
has a
go to your
great
second device and double tap.
right.
Not a
Were you
Shay.
in here
We missed
Saturday
you.
morning, Nada Shay?
I'm sorry, what did you
Were
say?
you in here Saturday morning when that guy threatened to flag the live?
Yeah, I took them down.
Okay, okay, good. I didn't know who was in here. I didn't see. I just said, hey, let's get him blocked. If you're gonna come over here and threaten, that's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
But I must say, Natasha, we miss you Saturday evening. Uh,
Yes,
oh my, you really would have been a vessel in this room on Saturday. It got very emotional on a
it
lot of
did.
side. A couple of
Duke almost
people.
started to cry a little bit. His
Oh,
So,
voice
tell me
broke.
about it. What happened?
well, we had a couple of people that was in the boomer 1 and 2 generation. And just talking about the old school songs like the Clean Up Woman, and you was checking out and I was checking in, and so they were just saying back in those days, the songs was so true, and because that's what really was going on, that your grandpa was on the other side of town. He had a woman on the other side of town, but he made sure house, the homes was great. And before she can get into her statement, Mia did, let us know that, hey, you guys in the boomer 1 and 2 stage, the people that's in the boomer 1 2 stage have messed up the mental health or caused the mental health issues for the millennials and the new gen, because we swept a lot of stuff under the rug, and
we agree with that kind of stuff. And we always say that it was harder back in the days. And she stated that it wasn't hard back in the days as it is today. And so everyone was like, what? Those people gave their lives. And then that's when Duke was talking about Big Ma, and just it went all over the world, and it kind of uncovered certain things, and it kind of give you a different perspective. And I knew where people was coming from, but you would have been a very great vessel in that conversation.
Wow. Wow. Whew. Um, I'm sad I missed it. I actually took you guys' advice and went to Costco. I'm so embarrassed to say it. But I went on a Costco date on Saturday evening.
Look
It's
at,
a
whoa, wait a second. That is breaking news. Wait,
right.
Sounds like
wait a
fun.
second. You went on a Costco date?
Yes, I did. I went to Costco.
Okay, hang on. Who invited whom?
I told him about this Costco thing, I think when it initially happened, and we were laughing about it.
Right?
And so he was like, he called and was like, "Hey, I'm out here by Costco." And I wasn't too far. He was like, "Hey, come grab a hot dog with me at Costco." And we both laughed about it, but then I went over to Costco and walked up and down in Costco. It was kind of fun to be funny.
It is fun. I'm telling you, I have done that a couple times. And I
Mhm.
have purchased some soap powder and some tall kitchen trash bags for
Mhm.
the young lady. And I'm telling you, that is a winner. One, it lasts forever. And they're practical gifts, and it's kind of fun to see people in a natural environment. You get a taste of some samples, you kind of get an idea of what they like, what they don't like, and opinions about everyday stuff. I think that's an awesome date, my opinion.
That's brilliant. Plus, you can't beat a Costco hot dog. They are the
That's
best.
true. Or a slice of pizza or a churro, whatever. But it is a way to, it's not a lot of pressure. You're just walking
Right.
up and down and you just kind of talk. And then, you can people watch as well because who doesn't go to Costco? Everybody goes to Costco. And you can really have some fun interactions and some fun conversations. So, congratulations. It was that one of the two guys that we talked about on Saturday? Or is it somebody
Yes,
new?
actually, and the funny part about that is I think you guys must have talked him up because we were laughing about that Saturday morning. And then he called later on, like, "Hey, I'm out here by no, I'm going. He said I'm either at Costco, I'm going to Costco, I'm out here by Costco," and I just said okay. And because we had that conversation earlier, I probably would have said no any other time, but because we had that
Mm.
conversation, I said, "You know what? I'm going right." So I
That
probably would have
is
said no.
amazing. I'm proud of you, Natasha. Look at
I
that.
know, isn't that crazy?
Because, we all talk about dating and no, I don't want to sit across from somebody for 2 hours, an hour and a half. And I think
Right.
sometimes some women may think, oh, he's trying to get off cheap. No, I want to see you in a natural environment where we're walking, we're talking, and situational things happen and they spur different conversations and you can get an idea of how this person really thinks.
Right.
That's why I'm not gonna
Dirty
say
dog.
anything, but
Welcome, buddy.
there is another date I know that you're gonna talk about a little bit later here. But I just want to say
Trying to make me turn red? Is that what you're trying to do, Dr. Shay?
I just say there was a great date, and and I just like your thought process of you know I got to. I just can't let this. I don't even because I don't want to say it about the what your thought was before, what you wanted to do, and I'm just ready to hear it.
Dog father, welcome.
Morning, 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 everybody.
What's going? Are you on the road delivering that rubber?
No, I do that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Unfortunately, I had
Are you a
to
doctor the other days?
I had to take my daughter to the Ford dealership. Our car's messing up.
Okay, gotcha.
So what's
I've
the
got
topics today?
One more time, sir.
Topics?
Well, I guess the main one, the thing is the bloodbath comment by Donald J. Trump, and how it was taken, in my opinion, out of context. If you just
Yeah.
listen to that one thing, you think he's talking about a repeat of January 6th. And I'm not saying that he's not playing on words to kind of rattle the other side. And I think they fall for a hook, line, and sinker because he's a master marketer, he's a master manipulator. He understands words and he lays that out there. And I think the left kind of took it and ran. I got about 22 DMs or so with people telling me about the story, and I had to go listen to it, and I got better context. I'm not sure if his side is understands the nuance of what he's saying, but it did light a fire in the media. So
Oh, he knew what he was saying, but it's the aspect of the way he said it,
I know,
even
but he
though.
said that he used certain words on purpose.
Right, exactly. So he knew, personally, I think he knew it would be taken out of context.
Right, because he's a master marketer.
Right. So, it's just, he's adding fuel to a fire.
Absolutely. And people
So,
ran with it.
yeah.
People ran with it on the
Pelosi,
left. And
Pelosi ran with it like crazy.
I think it's a dangerous
true.
game. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really comment on
Yeah,
it. But we are a generation of sound bites and clickbait.
absolutely.
That's what we
Yes.
roll on. Most people do not have the. I mean, because of the way they're conditioning us, people don't have the capacity for even 2 minute commercials anymore. If you notice,
That's
commercials
true.
used to be 2 minutes.
Count me in. If you don't get me in the first 30 seconds, I'm on to the next thing.
Exactly. So if we will fast forward through commercials, that's 2 minutes. That's why people love binge watching. We've been conditioned not to dig too deep into stuff. And that's the way they want it. That's why they'll clip something and put it out there for you to see. Oh, Donald Trump said it's going to be a bloodbath. And they'll run with that instead of saying, okay, but what was it in context to say? So that's the dangerous part of how we're living now because we have a lot of bites. And now we have AI too that's going to make it even worse. You know what I mean? You got to figure out, what did they say that for real? Or was that a AI, and then what context? People ain't going that deep no more. So it's going to be a lot of things that's said and done that you're going to have to really kind of dig into to see if it's real, if that's what they meant, and if not, we're going to have misinformation flying back and forth all day long.
Exactly, because if you don't listen to for the first 2 or 3 minutes before he made that comment, and a couple minutes after he made that comment, you're gonna take exactly what social media threw out there, uh, saying it's gonna another be possibly a reaction of January 6th because he used those words, and that's what they're trying to possibly reap the benefits of putting blame on it, and then um, but again, he used words to light a fire, and that's exactly what he did. And he knows what he's doing.
Absolutely. And, we can take it one way or another, but to me, that's exactly what MAGA wants to hear. It's in a way kind of inciting them. And you're absolutely right about clickbaits and sound bites. But the other thing he said was there would be no elections anymore. Do you remember that part?
I missed that part.
Yeah, I missed that part, but I remember the whole clickbait situation is that because of everything, this was several months ago, them saying about possibly them breaking out to WAR, that an election wouldn't happen because the whole ordeal with Ukraine and Russia, and you're gonna be act at WAR, and there will be no if we are at that moment in time, there will be no election process because that's something that I don't think they can do at the time of that act. So I don't,
Hey, I've got another name for Costco. Every
Another name for. Go ahead.
everything you didn't know you needed. You go in there for one thing, and next time you go to the thing and it's like $200.
That's no lie.
Welcome up, Straight Facts and Birdie the dog. Any thoughts on the topic today?
I got a thought. I hear what he's saying. Bloodbath can mean a lot of things. It can mean economic disaster. The only problem is that if everybody remember that how I forgot what's called now, but we used to have what was called NAFTA. Well, wasn't it Trump that did the NAFTA negotiations between Canada and Mexico and changed all that?
No.
Yes, he did.
NAFTA's been in a while, hasn't it? Didn't NAFTA
Hold
with
up.
Clinton?
No, but he changed it. Trump
Oh,
changed
did
it.
he?
He
Oh, did he
changed
change it?
NAFTA
I'm
to
sorry.
some, yeah. He changed. I forget the name of what's called now. It's got a long title to it. But he also one of the conditions what was talked about was building cars in Mexico. It was part of the agreement. It was part of the agreement, and we have our car manufacturer in Mexico building cars down there because it's cheaper to build. We have our car manufacturers building the cars in other countries because it's cheaper labor. So he knows that it's not going to be a bloodbath. It's
Well,
not going to be a bloodbath.
wasn't he talking about putting 100% tariffs on foreign imported cars?
Uh, he mentioned that his last administration decided not to. Yeah,
Right. Because he's been talking about that for a long time.
exactly. That's where the bloodbath comes in if he does that. I'm just saying.
Right. I mean,
But
that was the context of what he was talking about, but everybody ran with the fact, putting that if he doesn't win the election, it's going to be a bloodbath. He was talking about the cars, but it was kind of mashed up. So
but
people,
here's the thing.
if you
Here's the
didn't hear
thing.
the whole thing, then you would have thought he was saying it about, if he doesn't win the election, which I think he doesn't mind that being out there because that's what he, like I say, he's a master manipulator, master of marketing, and so I don't think he minds that narrative is out there. I think he wanted that narrative out there. In my opinion.
Here's the thing though. I listened to the entire speech, not just that one little clip there. Okay, there's always more to a story than meets the eye. But if you listen to that clip, he starts off with cars. Great, his opinion. That's what he plans on thinking about for when he becomes reelected. But then he paused. It was that way his tonality went down just a little bit. And then he inserts this thing here, right here. And it's because of the fact that he didn't say he made no reference to cars. He made no reference to electric vehicles. He made no reference whatsoever. He just threw in there because you know why? It was code. That was a
Right. Well,
code.
I agree
That was a
100%.
code.
He doesn't mind that narrative is
So
out there.
what if we take Sean's narrative, like Sean states? What if he's just not good at words, because
Oh,
a lot
come
of
on,
people
Shay.
want to go.
Listen,
Oh,
Dr. Shay, we're
Dr.
not going to
Shay.
do
No,
that.
no, 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 because they
Not
quick to
good at
say, "Oh,
words,
he
but
don't
he is a master marketer. He knows
listen,
exactly what he's saying. Stop it.
listen,
I'm
listen."
listening. You
That
know
that last week, you
what
guys was
happens
jumping
with
on.
Trump supporters is that they want to add stuff that he didn't say. Okay, we got to stop it. Okay, come on.
Sean, I agree
I
with
don't
you.
care what Sean said.
And last the 2 weeks ago, they were saying, "Oh, you can't say this about Biden because of his memory," but you could say that. But then it was like, "Oh yeah, because
Oh, are you
Trump
saying are you
Trump
saying that
memory as
Donald Trump
well."
has? Are you saying
No, what
Donald
I
Trump has
am
a mental
saying that
problem?
I agree with Sean. There's a possibility he's just not great with his words.
No,
Tell me
that's
what is
not.
the greatest?
No,
What is
stop
his
it.
greatest speech? What is the
Stop
greatest
it.
speech he provided to the
Stop it.
U.S. thus far? I'm asking you, what was the greatest speech?
Who, Trump's?
Yes.
I don't know any great speech that he did.
Oh, really?
Can you give me a great speech that Trump did?
But that's why he's stating that he just may not be great with his words.
Okay, honestly now, all jokes aside.
No, this is from
I'm
Sean, the
asking you,
communist.
no, forget Sean for 1 second. My brother from another. Do you think Trump is not good with words? See, exactly.
He
Stop.
clearly isn't.
Oh,
I
I
got a
thought you
good
was asking
example for
Sean. I'm
you.
waiting on his answer.
He's got like a third grade vocabulary.
All right,
I
Birdie, go
got a
ahead.
good one. Hey,
Go ahead,
Mr.
Birdie.
Denali, I got a good one for you.
Hang on 1 second, Dogfather. Birdie was speaking. Go ahead,
I
Birdie.
mean, that's all I had to say. He's
Oh, okay.
not good with words. He's never been good with words. He forgets words. He makes words up.
So did you think he said that on
He
purpose, or
can't pronounce words.
do you think he
You
said the
know, he
bloodbath thing?
actually tells his speechwriters not to put certain words in his speech because he can't read them. He can't
Do you think he
pronounce
meant to,
them.
Birdie? Do you think that he meant to say that the bloodbath thing and mean it kind of veiled threat?
I mean, I don't I don't know if his intent was to say that. I think that's just he wanted to say something inflammatory. I think I think it could easily be a stream of consciousness
Okay.
because what I don't even understand what it means anyway. Like why would you
Well, they're
describe it
saying
that
that
way?
financially it'll be a bloodbath, and that is a term that's used in finances when you're talking about money and things like that. I've used that in corporate before. Man, it's going to be a bloodbath, man. If we don't get this going, blah 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 blah, that kind of thing like that. I have definitely used that term on more than one occasion talking about money.
So, Mr. Denali, why do
Right, but
you
it
think
just doesn't. I
people
mean,
everywhere yesterday was so quick to jump on him and change his speech up and just say, "Oh, did you hear what he said? It's going to be a bloodbath." That they didn't pay
I don't think
attention
anybody
to the
changed
whole
his speech.
statement.
They
But
just took that
nobody
term.
hold people like that
but
accountable.
what he's
They were
describing
so
as a
against it.
financial bloodbath isn't like he doesn't articulate what would happen if what he's talking about happens. It would be much worse if he tries to put 100% tariff on foreign vehicles. That's only going to hurt our country.
Right, I agree. That's why it didn't happen in his first administration because
Right,
it's
and it'll never happen.
right.
It's just
Exactly.
red meat for his
100%. It's the same thing with the
dumbass.
wall. I'm gonna build the wall, and Mexico's gonna pay for it. It's red meat for his base to say, yeah, he's gonna make Mexico pay. He's gonna make Mexico pay for it, and they love that. 100%. Dogfather, what did you have?
Okay. The conversation, it was probably roughly 1 week ago. I can tell you where I was at because you and I were going back and forth. I was in Eufaula, Georgia, and we were talking about all the lawyers being on the phone with him at the same time, him specifically asking, I need 11,000 more votes, blah, blah, blah. And the way he said it could be taken out of context, because the judge did drop that phone call out because
Well,
you
he
take
dropped
content.
it
What I'm
out.
saying
He
is,
wanted more definition on the charge. He left it with it
right,
to go back to the grand jury and reapply the charge, Dogfather. So
right,
he did
because
drop it
you can
out.
take I'm just saying, you could take the context one direction, they could take the context another direction. So he left it up to them to prove exactly what context that he did to make that happen. It's just like
No,
I said,
that's not what
sound
he said.
bites.
That's not
I
what
know, but
he's.
what I'm saying is, it's the aspect of sound bites and context. Even though he did use those words, like I say, to fire things up,
But
he
you're but
used
you're
he
but
used
you're saying that the judge is is sending it back to them because the interpretation is not clear. That's not why he's doing it. He's asking them,
to prove
okay,
it.
this is happening. So what they're basically saying it's against the Constitution. So he's like, well, what part of the Constitution? You got to like define that. It's too broad.
Well, I understand it, but what I'm saying is, it's too broad. He knows how to use the wording right. The lawyer should have jumped in, but what I'm saying is, it's all about verbiage, and how the spectrum of it. He shouldn't have used the word bloodbath, but he dang well knew that he knew how to light a fire under the parties, to make everybody use those sound bites. And I guarantee you that's what everything on TikTok was going to be about on that word. He used the word bloodbath, another January 6th, blah, blah, blah. It, it's all about that. And unfortunately, that's where we stand. he knows how to manipulate his wording to light that fire.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people do. Like my 15-year-old son knows how to do that.
Oh yeah, but he's been in business so long, he knows his words. Now, as for the big words, that I'm not all 100% sure I'll agree with you on the aspect of that. But there are certain words that people just cannot say. And I know a couple of my words, and I'm not going to start to pronounce which ones I can't say because I'll look like a fool. So,
Hang on 1 second, guys. If you're in the box, do not tap the screen because the shadow bans alive. So do not tap if you are in the box. Only the comment section and people watching should tap. So do not tap if you're in the box. Appreciate it.
Mr. Denali, I don't know because I don't know if my signal is going to go down, but I know I got a meeting in the next 30 minutes. But I do want to say when you do get to your big conversational topic today, I hope I am in the room, but I do like the fact that you're such a great gentleman. And if people don't know this, you're a gentleman regardless. And I know this weekend someone kind of misread you about they thought that you was controlling, but you're not controlling. You're like a teddy bear. But I know that you went crazy, like I can't let this lady pay for my date, and even after the fact, and you really, I thought you wasn't gonna go to sleep, and I gotta be here for it. I hope I am here for it, but I just wanted to put that out.
All right, Dr. Shay. Yes, if you've been on my page on Saturday, we'll go ahead and talk about it. If on Saturday, we were up here for about 12, 13 hours, and it kind of went a lot of different places. Good. It was a very, very good conversation. And we talked about dating and politics. This was kind of all over the place. And I was asked about like my preferences and things like that. And I said that I generally do not date women in my age group for several reasons. And I don't think I got much pushback on that. I think I did. I think DJ did push me back a little bit on there. And I have been pushed back before by women in my age group about dating younger. It's just my preference at this particular point of my life. And a person asked me out on the air. If you were in the live, you heard it's JP Strong. She said she'd like to meet for lunch or dinner or something to that effect. And after the show, I saw the message. She did it on live, and then she sent me a private DM, and we started to text and everything like that. And we met up on Sunday, I guess afternoon. I think it was at 2:00, right, JP?
Yes, it was at
2 p.m. And we went and we broke some bread. And we had a great time, and JP was able to tell me a lot more about her story. And she's an amazing woman with amazing strength. And she shared about her DV happened with her ex-husband. And it's a very inspiring story. She's a very strong woman. She was able to survive that horrific attack, unwarranted, not that there's ever a reason for it. But, obviously that was just pure evil whenever you are in a relationship and the person doesn't want to be with you anymore, and then you decide to, bring violence into it. And I'm glad that she is strong and was able to survive and tell her story, because I think her story is very inspirational, because unfortunately, this kind of thing happens. I wish it never did happen, but unfortunately it does. And her advocacy from what she's done in the space is very, very remarkable. And I was just in awe of what she was telling me, how she has definitely helped a lot of women. If you go to her page, you'll see a lot of what she does. And I think she's open to talking about it as far as helping women escape any kind of DV. Did I say that? Did I get it all right there, JP?
Yeah, you did. And I thought we had a great time.
Yes.
And, real meaningful discussion. And it was fun.
It was fun. It was fun. We ate some food, and um, you know, she said it was her treat. Um, and she made the reservations and everything like that, and we went. And I tried to pay because that's who I am, and Dr. Shay can attest to that. And I saw her when we sat down. I said, I'm not gonna let you pay, right? She's like, no, 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 it's my treat. And I'm like, no, I'm going to pay. That's just who I am. And when I saw we were kind of ending, and the way it was coming, and I said, oh, it looks like he's about to like present the check or something like that. And I pulled out my credit card, and then she had already said it, and we're both fighting not fighting, but trying to give the card to the waiter, and the waiter takes her card. And when JP she went to the restroom, I asked the dude, I said, dude, why you didn't take my card? Like, he's like, bro, he's like, man, I've been in that situation so many different times where both are trying to give me the card, and he said his rule is to go with whoever says it first. And apparently JP had said it first. He said because he had gotten into some trouble where women said that he was being sexist by taking the man's card as opposed to taking the woman's card. So that's why he has a rule that he goes with whoever said it first, and that's the card that he took. And he took JP's card.
Oh
Am I
man, I
right about
didn't.
that, JP?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Um, he,
Yeah.
he told you that after. But what I
Yeah.
said was, I asked you, so let me get this, and then if we, meet up again, then you can pay that time.
Right. And that's what she said. And I said, okay, that sounds like a winner. We have not scheduled another date just yet. I don't know. I had sent you a text this morning. Did you get it?
Oh no, I didn't check.
Okay, yeah. We were talking yesterday. I guess you fell asleep with me last night when we were texting about The Walking Dead.
I'm having a hard time hearing you right now.
Can you hear me?
Are you on mute?
No, I'm not on mute. No. Can you hear me?
I'm gonna back out and come back in. Wait,
Can
hold on.
everybody else hear me? Hello?
Can hear you.
Oh, okay, that was on my end. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, I said that we were texting last night about The Walking Dead. I don't know if you saw my text about The Walking Dead.
Oh, I fell asleep.
Okay, I figured as
Are you a
much.
fan?
I am a fan, and I asked you who was your favorite character. I'm a big fan of that show, TWD. So,
Well, I even went to a Walking Dead convention. That's what a nerd I am. And it was a blast. I got my picture with Norman Reedus. I'll have
oh
to
wow.
send it to you.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Now,
So, go
I
ahead.
guess I think Michonne is my favorite character.
Okay.
Um, Michonne and Norman Reedus.
Excellent. Good deal. So yeah, so we went and we broke some bread and we had some great conversation. And we sat outside for a little bit because she said she wanted to hear more about me. Because she has such an amazing story, and when you hear her talking about the survival and how she helps and the different things she has done, and the podcast with John Stewart, excuse me. So, it's definitely an amazing story. And you're just sitting there like, how is this young lady doing all these things and with all these different challenges, raising twin boys who are playing baseball at Reinhardt and the Citadel? How is she doing it? So I was in complete awe, and I was very honored to be with her and her tell me her story. So, yeah. So it was great.
It was an honor for me too. I didn't realize that
Come on.
you've only been doing this for 5 weeks.
This is our 5th week of full-time shows. Yes, 5th week.
Yeah. When you told me that yesterday, I was kind of blown away because you got such a great following. I mean, deservedly so. But I think I started, listening to your lives probably about 3.5, 4 weeks ago. So I didn't realize I'd kind of caught you on in the beginning of your journey. Same with
Yes.
DJ. Same with DJ.
Yes, yes, yes. And like I always say, we're building one of the most inclusive spaces here on TikTok where everybody has a voice, and your experience will not be dismissed. It will be respected 100%. So yeah, so we went out, and it was cool. I think we had a great time. And there you go. Dr. Shay. Dr. Shay. She I don't know what's going. I'm going to have to say, oh, she's on the phone. I'm about to send her a new phone because she always has trouble with her phone. So yeah, that's what we did, and I thought it was interesting that the waiter said that he's been accused of being a sexist because he has taken the man's card. I thought that was a very telling, interesting point that he made to me.
Well, I don't really think that's fair to put it on him. Um, you know, I'm sure it puts him in a bad situation. I certainly didn't mean to do that to him.
No. I don't. It was, I mean, I
Yeah.
was like, dude, I was trying to give you my card. Why didn't you take my card? And he explained to me what his process is, so he doesn't, get himself. Because I'm sure, some people maybe have been very passionate talking to him about that. I can pay. You don't have to take the man's card. And I think it gets confusing with guys like, what are they supposed to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the new movement, it's not anything against the woman. It's just been, I guess, tradition that guys generally are paying for the date. So, but that was his deal. So that's what happened, and that's it.
Yep.
So, Nada Shay had a date, and I had a date too. Who would have thought? Who would have thought it?
Yeah, it was like an encounter. I don't know about it. Is that a date? When you just go grab a hot dog? Is that really a date though?
Did he buy? Okay. Did you guys walk around the store?
Briefly, yeah.
I mean, was it just for the hot dog?
I get well,
How much time did you spend at Costco?
like 45 minutes.
Oh wow, that's not a lot of time in Costco.
I know, cause I I know, right? Like 45 minutes.
Yeah, no,
I
but
don't.
that's a big store. You can, I mean, it takes a long time just to walk around to even if you know where you're going to get what you want. And then you guys ended it with a hot dog and a drink.
Mm, yeah, and a Sunday, not a
Did
drink.
y'all plan at work, go like meeting at Costco?
No, it was kind of
Impromptu.
it was impromptu.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mentioned it before.
Huh.
Um,
Yeah,
Well, what
then
I can
that's
say
not a
when I
date.
did it, it was I needed to go to Costco to get some things, and I said,
That's
mhm.
"Hey, I'm going. Would you like to accompany me and go to Costco?" And at first people are like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "Nah, it'd be fun. Just put something cool, something light on, and hey, Mia, and we'll go and go over there." And we walked up and down the aisles, and we had good laughs, and we talked, and like I said, people watching can spur on different conversations, and that's what happened. And I probably would say maybe it's like a 2 hour, 2.5 hour encounter
Oh, okay. Mm.
because I'm going to get stuff, and I let her, purchase some things for her. I've done it several times. Soap powder, like I said, or tall kitchen trash bag, that kind of thing, like that. And then you could get something at the snack bar, or we can just go grab some lunch somewhere close there. So I don't know.
Sounds like a
Mm,
date to me.
maybe.
Impromptu date.
Right.
that's like
Had you
coffee.
guys been on a date before?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, this is the first time. Okay. How was it though? Whatever you did, how was it?
I think it was nice. I think you guys, I
Good
believe in
morning,
energy,
Mia.
and I think you just talked them up, because we were talking about him that morning, or talking about the whole thing with Costco a couple of lives ago. So, and I mentioned it, and so it was just like, hey, you want to go to Costco? I'm out here by Costco. I don't remember what he said. I'm at Costco. I'm out here by Costco. Something. He just asked me did I want to go to Costco, and I was like, only because we were talking about it. I was like, sure.
So,
And
I mean, do you think he had this planned?
no, I think it was impromptu.
But what was
Because the
he
way
doing
he
at
was.
Costco? Was he going to get something?
No, I just think he just used that as an opportunity to say, "Hey, you want to come to Costco?" I think it was impromptu because of the way he was dressed. He was like really, really, really dressed down. So, um,
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
really.
Well,
Mr. Something funny did happen, and I forgot to tell you about it before you got there.
yeah.
So I went inside and I went to the bar, and they had like the high top bar seats. But I pulled one back out of the way so I could, wheel in that space. And the bartender comes up to me and she goes, "You can't sit there." And I was like, "What?" And the people on either side of me were like, what? And then she kind of stood on her tippy toes and she saw that I was in a wheelchair. And she thought I had like pulled up one of the low seat
Yeah,
chairs from a
right.
table behind me.
Yeah.
And the lady next to me was like, ma'am, she's in a wheelchair. And she was mortified. I'm
Right.
like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
That happened to Madonna. I saw about 10 days ago because the
Saw
person
that
was
too.
sitting down. And she said, "What are you doing sitting down at my concert?" And, the crowd had to tell her that, you know, the person was, in a wheelchair. So, yeah, unfortunately, that happened. But we can definitely give people grace, especially if they didn't know. So I appreciate you for that. Mia,
Good
Mia,
morning.
good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good, doing good. Good to see you.
Hey,
So is
I got
that
a
a good thing
question.
or a bad thing that a man is dressed down so deep? On the first time is that a good sign or a bad sign?
Do you
Does
want me
he?
to dissect this?
Yes, I do. I'm curious about it because you got me thinking about it now.
Okay. I guess my thing is, what was his plan?
I
If
don't
he
know.
wasn't going to Costco to get some stuff, why would he say, "Let's go to Costco for a hot dog and a drink"?
Because I told him about it the other. I
I
told
know,
him
but
about
there has to be some kind. It still has to be some kind of plan. You're
What
showing.
is dressed down too? Like
You come.
t-shirt,
Why was
shorts?
he going to Costco to invite you just for the hot dog? No, when I invite a young lady to Costco, I'm going there to get some stuff for my house. Would you like to accompany me? And I will go ahead and purchase some stuff for you. Like I said, soap powder, tall kitchen trash bag, a bag of shrimp, whatever it is. But it's just, it's like just kind of seeing people in a natural environment.
so
But
let me
Oh, well,
so
I'm
let me
going to
give a little
Costco
bit
with
of
you.
I'm
huh.
sorry, Mia.
I said I'm going to Costco with you. Did you say you was going to purchase my household items too?
I didn't say items, but I have purchased tall kitchen dishwashing detergent and also trash bags. Because those things last forever. Like I had some trash bags that I bought from there, and it lasted me like a year or so, if not longer. So
I think it was a little bit of the
Nice.
conversation we had about going to Costco and having a date there. So that's why I was asking
yeah.
because as you begin to talk, I'm like, is that weird? Because he did come dressed down like kind of really casual, and I'm like,
What was the plan once you got to Costco? I wouldn't, for me, I wouldn't say, "Hey, come, let's get a hot dog." Maybe that could be after walking around and grabbing some stuff, but to go there just to get a hot dog, that's not what I would do.
but okay, so when we got there, we went to the electronics counter, and he was
Yeah.
helping me with the 15 point, the iPad Pro, the stats on that. They were showing me the stats on the iPad Pro because I'm like got a lot of Android stuff, and we always kind of that's been the basis of our conversation: Android versus I stuff. So yeah, so we went and did that, and then but he was really dressed down and like it was kind of I don't know. That's why I'm asking you guys to
Well,
help.
no, I mean, the, the
What is
the
he wearing?
the iPad was for you. What was
Normal
he
though.
doing? Did he just invite you to get a hot dog? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Okay,
What
so
was his
we went.
plan?
I don't know what the plan was. We talked. We had a brief
Sound like there
conversation.
was no plan. He's like, "Hey, let's get a hot
It,
dog,"
it
especially
wasn't. So
for a
we
first date.
right. So
That's
then
not
we
a
went.
date.
Hang on a second,
That
Mia.
does
Are you
not count
saying?
as their first date. That counts as their first meetup. And who cares about dressing down? I mean, it's Costco. I don't get dressed up to go shopping. I literally wear cardigans and stuff like that to go shopping. I look my age when I go shopping.
No, but
But on a date,
if it's
go
the
ahead.
first time,
No, but I kind of understand. Okay, first of all, let me give it a little context. I have never seen Seven outside of a professional environment. So when I say dress down, I've never seen him outside of
A suit.
a suit or a tie or anything. So when it was kind of it was kind of like a casual thing, and like he was really, really dressed down. So not
Are
not
you
that the
talking
fact
sweats or jeans?
sweatpants. That's the dress down is what I'm saying. He had on sweatpants, tennis shoes, and like a jacket
Okay,
with
what
over a
kind of
t-shirt.
sweats? Like, were they nice looking sweats or were they like
Was it like work
faded,
in the yard
too
sweats or
loose? Yeah, like what
No,
kind of
gym
sweats
no,
were they?
sweats?
no. Like just sweatpants. There wasn't nothing to it, but because I
Uh,
had never seen him that dressed down, it was like I took it as he was being comfortable with me. But I'm asking from another man's perspective, like, oh, does that mean he just? I don't know what it meant, but
Okay,
I just felt
listen.
like he was very comfortable enough to.
I'm not even worried about what he was wearing. I'm worried about what the plan was. If he's
Oh,
getting you to get a hot dog, I don't know what that's about.
I think maybe he just wanted to see her, in a different setting. And it's like, oh, you're going to Costco? Well, let's go to Costco,
He wasn't going there. That's what I'm saying.
No,
He
she
was.
was. That's why I'm
No, she
saying he just.
wasn't.
he
She
called
So
went
then
me.
what
because
was the
he
point of
invited her.
Costco?
That's what I'm trying to understand. He invited her to Costco, but there was no plan.
See,
Right.
I thought somebody was going to Costco for something.
No, I said when I do it, I am going, and I'm asking the young lady to accompany me.
So did anybody buy anything out of Did y'all buy like what?
Nothing.
Because
And
Right, exactly.
of
That's my
all
point.
meeting
So he
places,
said, "Let's get a hot dog at Costco," and I mean that doesn't to
so,
me.
so the only
Even
thing
better
that
saying, "Hey,
actually
go get some coffee at Starbucks."
right. So the only thing that actually happened is we went from talking on our work assigned phones or the phones that we have that's set up for business to exchanging our private number. Um, and he helped me with the whole 15.9 iPad Pro thing. Um, talked about what a next encounter would look like, and we just kind of been talking on our personal phones since then. So I think that was just a reason to get me. I the way I took it, because that was the conversation we had, is just to get me to present in a personal light to see if that is something that's even there. You understand what I'm
nah, I
saying? Like,
got questions. What did you look like what did you wear to Costco? What did you look like? Because you could have had him a little shy.
okay, so I wore.
Do not listen, ladies. I'm going to tell you like this: don't make excuses for guys. We know exactly what we're doing most of the
And
time.
that's true. A guy can know exactly what they want. They can have intentions and all that. But I have been put in a situation
Right.
where even though a guy is handsome, I have intimidated them a little bit just like by showing up and looking good. So I'm like, I don't know. What did she wear to
Mia,
Costco? It might
no
have.
man is intimidated. Most men, not dudes, not anything else, are not intimidated by women, in my opinion.
So they don't get shy, like if they
I
think
mean,
a
maybe they're
woman.
shy, but if a man wants what you have, he will figure out a way to let you know and do what's necessary.
Like when I left Costco, I felt good about it until I came to this live,
I'm
and I was
sorry.
like,
That's why
"Oh
I asked
shit!"
you. That's why
Oh
I
no.
asked you.
Okay,
You wanted me to break it down.
can
I
I
Huh?
add
would not have
something
broken
here?
it down if you did
Right.
not want me to.
I
No,
think
but
it,
I'm saying it's cool. But I was like, I was feeling like, cool and
Tell me
happy
tell me what you were feeling good about.
because I guess and so the environment in which we work. I thought it was very inventive for him to invite me to Costco as a way to take our relationship from business to private. I thought that was so cute because I had mentioned it and he called me and it kind of the timing of it, and that's why I said yes. You know what I'm saying? So I was feeling good when I left Costco. We had exchanged from business to private numbers, and
Do
you
you
know
like this guy?
talked about an encounter with a. I mean, I never. I'm giving it thought now. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys told me, hey, that would be cute, and that's what I'm doing. So that's
Oh,
why I
you
asked you
never looked
out.
at him like that before?
I did. I did look at him like that before, and he has expressed a little bit of interest, but it never went anywhere until I to the Costco invite. So that's when we moved from
Okay.
talking at work to talking in private. And I
When's the
thought that
next
was a good
date?
start until I came here today.
When's the
It
next date?
went, it went from business to casual. Now you're
Right.
texting.
When's the
So
Yeah.
next
yeah,
date?
so he
I don't.
has a
I'm still
take it
talking
for the
about it.
guy. He has a plan. And
No, he doesn't.
he's
Not in my
enacting
opinion,
that plan.
straightforward. Yeah, well, tell me the plan straightforward.
Well, the next you can go on a date.
Okay, is the next date planned?
Yep. Well,
We
in
were
his mind,
talking. It's not
he's
planned
putting it.
yet.
He's planning it.
Like
He's
we have
thinking.
scheduled stuff.
Stop it,
But what
straightforward.
was you said you knew like the nature of the next date? What is
No.
that? Like dinner or
Yeah, dinner. We're talking about dinner.
Oh, see.
What's
He
all
has
this
diagnosed,
talking? Today's Monday. You met on Saturday or whatever. Like, what's going
but
on? Like, I'm immediately on it.
I
man,
know,
it's
but
slow these days.
No, they're
I have
not.
a paper that's due, and he has a case that's due, so I have to.
Oh my
We have to
god.
work around a lot of schedule stuff. You know what I
All right.
mean?
Okay. Listen. I tell you what. If I'm into a woman, it's like, hey, what we doing? Boom, boom, boom. Like, what's your availability? Or go ahead and pick a date. I mean, something. But listen, I'm different. Maybe that's the case. I'm on the back nine of life, so I don't have a lot of time left. So
Oh
I
my
think
god.
it's a great icebreaker, as someone else has said in the comments. And,
okay.
I wouldn't read too much into it. I mean, I think it was a great idea and it sounded like you had fun. You had a good feeling afterwards. So now
I did.
you can set
Okay,
up
great.
like a real date now.
Great.
I think
Listen,
that's
The
a good idea.
experience
great.
was good though, but what's a little awkward is them ending up at Costco for no apparent reason.
Thank you,
That
Mia.
part I'm
Thank
not gonna.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
part
Thank
at
you.
first, like I guess I missed that part of the story where I thought that there was a reason they were at Costco. Other than that, why wasn't it a lunch date or something
Well, they
else?
ate lunch. They ate a hot
Yeah,
dog.
hot dog.
A fucking $1.50 hot dog. Oh my
It was
god.
$1.50 hot dog. And guess
It's a
what?
gourmet
I'm gonna
Polish
shock the whole
sausage.
world. Guess what? I
Costco's the
paid for
new coffee house, I guess.
Yeah, well, guess what? And guess what, guys? I'm gonna really shock you. I paid for the hot dog.
Oh Lord.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's
I
a,
paid for the hot
who
dog.
invited who to
did was
Costco?
there a
Wait, wait,
choice?
wait.
Did he offer?
No, he
Oh,
had his card up there. He had his
whose
card
Oh,
up
idea
okay.
there.
was
He
it to go to
tried to
Costco?
pay. He
He
tried
was
to pay,
trying to pay.
and you let him.
And
Okay.
and
I
guess
mean,
what? And guess what? Guess what, guys?
what?
What?
His card declined.
Oh
You
no.
know what?
Oh
Exit,
fuck! For a
exit.
And
dollar
so,
fifty?
Oh
uh-huh.
no.
For a
That's
listen,
$5.
for a
Okay.
dollar
$3.
50. Listen, but guess what? He had turned the card off, and he went to reach for another card. I had my card right there on my little satchel thing, and I just swiped it because it was like a tap card because it was a dollar
I
50.
don't know. Now the shade, this is
Oh,
giving me
so you
mad
paid for both the
vibes.
hot dogs.
I paid for both hot dog, my Sunday, and he had
Did
a
he
drink.
did he offer to Venmo or Zelle you the money?
Not $1.50. I was looking at him like, get out of here, please.
No, he offered.
Yes.
Okay, in that situation, I probably would have Venmoed you 15 or maybe even a 20.
So
Just
listen.
No,
So
because you got
now,
to see what a dude's gonna do in that situation. You should have gave him the opportunity to unlock his card because I'm curious to see whether his card was declining because it was locked, or he really didn't have no money on that card.
so now this is the thing. So now the next time we go out, which I guess you said the next date, he said I can pick any restaurant in Georgia, no matter if we got to drive, and he will pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Any restaurant. It doesn't matter the
Yeah,
cost.
I'd be
I
scared his
got a
card
question
go
for the ladies with
decline.
that. Is that a turn off if the guy is saying you pick it as opposed to him planning it out?
I don't think
Sometimes,
I
so.
don't
yes.
know. Is that a bad thing?
Sometimes yes, because I think with guys, like if they plan it, they can stay within their budget and things like that. Like when the woman is planning something, she's gonna go off what she likes, and then men already think women are bougie or too expensive or this, that, and the third. So I think it's better for the man to plan the date that way. He kind of controls, like,
Well,
I guess, the environment and
thank you.
everything, since he's the one paying for it.
Do you want men to plan or no?
Yes.
Okay, so when a man says, "Hey, you pick it," does that do something to you?
Yeah, it bothers me because I'm trying to figure out what
Right,
their
exactly.
budget is or what yeah, it's too much. It's
So
too much
I
Right.
felt
pressure.
pretty good about this until I came to this live. I mean, really, I felt okay about it.
Listen, don't mind us.
But I
I
don't
think
think I don't think there's anything
Birdie's the only
wrong.
one married on the panel.
Huh?
It was straightforward. I think you have a woman down. You're married down in Mississippi. Is that right?
That's correct. Very
Yeah,
happily.
so Birdie and Straightforward are only two people married. I'm not. JP is not. Me is not. And Nada Shay is not.
Right.
You know,
So Natasha, who
here's the
invited who to
thing.
Costco? Did you
May
invite
I
He
him to
want I would love
he
to
Costco?
called
respond to Mayor.
he called me on the work phone and said, "Hey, I don't remember whether he said I'm at Costco. Do I want to go to Costco? Because in the past, when we talked about this on this live, I made mention to him in conversation about a man taking a woman to Costco, and we talked about that. And I thought it was a good idea, and he thought it was a good idea too. So for him
Oh,
to
that
call
makes
me
it
out of
better. So you guys had prior conversation
yes, so
and you
that's
guys
what I'm saying.
okay.
So then when he called me on Saturday evening and said, "Hey," I took it as an icebreaker. He didn't want to be direct. And if anybody knows me, he knows me from work. I am not I think he's being appropriate with me because I'm not a jump out there and start having inappropriate conversations and we're going to jump from A to D type person. And I think it's a respect thing for him to say, "Hey, let's go to Costco." That's what I thought. I took it as, right? And then,
Mhm.
this very benign kind of icebreaker non-date thing to get to the date. I took it as respect. And so now I'm in here, I'm thinking, well, maybe not. So that's why I asked.
Well, no, Shay, you should
Yeah,
take it as respect because the way he's building something up because
right,
he's interested in you.
right,
Those are the signals that I'm seeing right here. And
right.
no, a lot. Let's be honest. For men, a lot of men don't want to go to Costco and walk around for 45 minutes. There's got to be a reason why they do that, and you were
Yeah.
the reason. You were the reason. And so, yeah, he took it from business to casual, and now, and there, I want to say this here: if two people don't really know too much about each other, okay, I don't know. I wouldn't know if I'm going to go ahead and ask somebody out what do you like to eat or anything else like that. I say to my wife all the time, "You pick what you want," because she's got stomach issues and all that. So I want her to be not to have stomach issues after eating something. So I let her pick what she would like to eat. That'd be the reason why I would say something like that. That's just courtesy, in my opinion. Hey, what you pick the restaurant, doesn't matter what it is, because I can eat anything. I don't care.
And let's be clear, this gentleman is he's in school to become an attorney, a lawyer, and he has his own financial business. So $1.50
Thank you.
and a hot dog. It's not really about the hot dog and who paid for the hot dog. It's just us being kind to each other. I think that's the way I took it until I came to this live, because I know this man has $1.50, even if he cut his card off, because it's a lot of theft, and that was one of the things he said. I carry my cards in the RIDF. I've gone and had my credit cards attacked from people just scanning your bag. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of scams out there, and he talked about that happening to him too. That's why he
All
cuts
right.
the cards
Okay.
off.
Well, listen. You know that. I mean, when you put that in there, you didn't give the context that he has more than $1.50. And,
Right.
but I mean, you put it in there because I assume that maybe you thought there was some kind of problem why his card declined.
And we work together, so we're both, like on the same
Level.
path. So I know pretty much how much his division makes. So
Okay. Well, listen. Then maybe he's just nervous and he doesn't know what to do. So maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, she mentioned the Costco date beforehand, so
mm, I
um,
think it was a cute
he
ice.
was took that up and was like, "Okay, that
All
sounds
right.
good."
Well, listen, Natasha, whenever the next day happens, will it happen in 2024?
You funny. I hope so.
So
When it
this is like a
happens,
thing now, though, like Costco
You're wrong
first
for that.
dates,
well, I think it's a great way to see
like a
people
meet
in a
cute,
very relaxed atmosphere. I think
right?
that's great. That's what I have done in the past, and it has definitely worked. And I will go ahead and purchase a couple items for the young lady, and go from there. I mean, they're practical gifts, and it's just a way to see people just in a very relaxed atmosphere. People watching, get some samples, can get a hot dog at the end, and go from there. and see if
Get
you
some
guys are.
samples.
Sure, they got great samples at Costco.
It's a way to get to know each other.
Absolutely straightforward, and that's my thing. Something other than sitting across from each other at a dinner table, you know, trying to figure out what to say. Sometimes the things that happen in Costco can spur a conversation, and you kind of get an idea what they really think. Some of them might walk in with a Trump hat, and you might say, "Oh, man, that's my candidate," or you might say, "Oh, these Trump guys." I mean, it just happens, being out in the world. So that's my thing. I like things like that. So yeah, good luck, Natashay, on your
Oh God.
coming date.
Mm.
Hopefully, this guy is he's your person. You guys are turning from professional to personal, and I wish you all the best in your desired outcome in dating.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, what else do you want me to say?
No, 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 no. I was only reason I'm laughing is because we're even having this conversation. We're supposed to be talking about the bloodbath, and I
No,
was just
listen. You know how this thing goes. It goes all over the place.
right. And the only reason I even brought it up because I was listening to you guys talk, and I'm like, hey, was that wrong? But I think it was cute, and I'm sticking to what I like. I
Yeah,
think
absolutely. Listen, don't. What the hell? What do I know? You know what I'm saying? What do I know? I don't know anything. I just know what I know, at least what I think I know. So I think I think the date with JP, I would say was a success. I would say a 10 out of 10. Speaking for myself, hopefully JP also believes that as well. So
I would agree.
I was a perfect gentleman, wasn't I?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Right. See? So
And it was really good conversation. And, like I was, telling Mr. Nolly, it's kind of refreshing to, you know, go out with someone that you already know beforehand is like minded, and you could have these kind of discussions, with, because sometimes, politics, that kind of thing, it's not a good thing to talk about on a date. So it was refreshing, and I really enjoyed your company.
I should have showed her with a MAGA hat. She was like, "What?"
I'm wearing no.
That would have been kind of funny.
Well, I got my Biden Harris hat on right now.
Okay, all right, I like it. Duke, what's up, buddy? You're back.
What's going on? Good morning. Hey, what I hear you went out on a date?
Yeah, I went out on a date.
Man, did you score? Get past first base?
Oh
Man, what
man,
happened? Tell me the
only,
juice, man.
only,
Did you
only,
did you hit a
only
home
Duke,
run?
only Duke would coming in here hot. Only Duke would come in here hot like that.
I'm
Uh,
just kidding. I'm just
I know
playing,
you
y'all.
are.
I'm
I
just
know
kidding.
you are. I know you are. Um, do you think your girl was a little rough with me this morning?
I'm gonna say this, man. Listen,
Yeah.
me and her have known each other since because we both was large content creators. I'm talking about
Yeah.
we was huge,
Yeah.
but and she always came on my platform. I never seen her drop anybody like that. To tell you the truth, I don't know why. I think she was, and I told her that that was me that asked about your platform. Some of these creators they change over the years,
Yeah. I thought she was a
and
little rough with me
and,
because
and yeah, she was they when they get large and it's all about the money, man. They get really offended if you try to push anybody else's or mention anybody else's uh, uh, platform. So that took me by surprise because I would have never said anything if I thought it would have offended her.
yeah, because I mean, she didn't even give me an opportunity to explain myself. Right when I was going to say I'm not here for that, she's like, "You ain't following me. You're not going to try to take my shine." I was like, "Lady, I don't even know who you are." The only reason I came on there was because I saw Duke. It came up on my thing that he was live, and I clicked on your face on Darth Vader, and then you were in there. I said, "Okay, let me come up." I don't know the lady, and
And
then
do
she
not
just
and
kind of
do not
barely
mention it.
consistent.
And do not mention her platform because there are people that'll run back and it would be a whole, oh my God. Our people are the most gospelingest people there are. So,
I
I just
guarantee
said
I
what
know who it
happened.
is. I know who it
I
is.
just
I
said
can
all I
say.
did was say
yes.
what who it was and what happened, and I thought I didn't know that it was a prerequisite to get up in the live that you had to follow the creator.
I didn't either. Sometimes I follow, sometimes I don't.
Right, it's my
Usually
choice.
you Yeah, usually I give people I will follow and then I'll go on the platform and if it's one of those platforms where you can't speak or if it's horrible or something, then I'll unfollow on the way out.
Right.
So it really depends on.
Yeah,
But
I was a little shocked at that.
The
what's the
same
These
topic?
creator
creators are horrible.
came at me last week. Same
What,
creator.
is
Yeah,
that
this
right? Okay. All right.
They're
I don't know.
what's
horrible,
the
and
topic?
I think TikTok gives people a false sense of self-worth. This is like what I noticed is a lot of these content creators, and there are some good ones on there. Like yesterday, I stumbled across some kind of court one, which is kind of crazy. But it was unique and it was great. But anyways, um, I feel like it gives people a false sense of self-worth and power, and they just go crazy with it. And it's like, calm down. It's just TikTok. Like you
Right.
don't have to be that way. But some of these people are really rude. They're really disrespectful. And what they're not realizing is you don't want to be that way considering the fact that you need these people to make you bigger or get you to where you're trying to go.
Right.
Help you for the goal you're trying to accomplish. But some of them are so they're just nasty.
Well, I've noticed this. Okay, when they first start out, they're nice, they're friendly, they invite everybody in, they're big for people to come to their platform, and man, they want as many followers as they can, especially when they first try to get to 1,000. And then after 1,000, when they first start off, they're trying to grow their page. They are friendly as heck. But boy, once they get past, I'm gonna say about 10 or 20K, then they start being, man, really rude and nasty and obnoxious. They don't need you anymore. So then they said, I got enough followers. And when they get real large, whoo wee, boy. And then they got their moderators. Their moderators feel as though they're God, and they won't let nobody speak. They cut people off. They mute people. They drop people. It's amazing. But boy,
Right.
if their page get taken, then they're like, oh, I'm on my backup page. Can you help me out, please? Bitch, no. Anyhow, what's y'all topic for today?
Well, Fonnie Willis, Trump, the bloodbath comment, I was taken out of context, in my opinion.
Way out of context. Way out of context.
Yeah, that, I think, he
You don't think he
definitely,
meant that?
What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold
Oh
on.
no.
What?
Oh no.
What? Steph? What was he talking about when he said
I don't
bloodbath?
care what he was talking about. He cannot
There it
use
is.
words.
well, hang
Hold on,
on.
He
There,
cannot
there it
use
is.
words
Wait a
the
minute.
way
Whoa,
Wait a
Trump
minute.
whoa,
did.
whoa, 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 whoa. Steph, context does matter.
but he did take an
Yes.
intervention to say that, and even the guy behind him was kind of like, "Whoa, where did that come from?"
It
So that his
amazes
own
me.
supporters will pause and be like, "What the heck? How is it taken out of context when other people say
It,
that?"
Mia, did you listen to the whole thing?
Yeah, he was talking about like something about the car industry and cars and crap. I
Right.
wasn't trying
So
to.
it wasn't, I believe that people took it and ran with it because they wanted to paint that kind of narrative. And I'm
So it
not
was
saying,
distorted by
hang on a
people.
second, Mia. Mia, just give me a second. I'm not saying he didn't want that out there a little bit, but just taken by what he said, I don't think he was specifically talking about like a repeat of January 6th. My
So
opinion.
a person that almost caused, an insurrection and tried to overthrow the government should be given grace when they say things like,
No,
"If
no, I'm
I
not.
don't win,
and
it's gonna
here,
I'm
be a
not. What I'm saying
bloodbath."
is, when he was talking about a financial bloodbath, that's what he
He
was talking.
needs to not use that
That's fine,
word.
you
but I'm
know,
just saying he was
it's
not talking
But
about
but
a
these are
repeat.
it,
little breadcrumbs that he
If you go
uses
and say that,
all the
then
it's
time
it
to gin
amazes
up.
me. it amazes me how one side, when like Joe Biden say little breadcrumbs, we like to say, well, Joe Biden didn't mean this. This is what he really
You've
meant, and
never
they
heard
go.
me say
And,
Give
that.
an
yeah,
example.
no. I'm saying I didn't. Now, when I'm speaking, I'm not speaking to you personally. I'm speaking generally, like when I say, well, Joe Biden said, you're not black unless, and then people will come out defensively and say, well, this is what he meant in context,
Well,
because this is
bring
what he
something up of
means,
him
okay?
inciting
And so,
violence.
and,
Him
and
inciting
so,
violence. You gotta
ma'am,
level.
ma'am,
Dude,
You
quit
gotta
talking
level
over
the
ma'am,
her.
playing field,
I'm
though, Duke. You can't
sorry.
do that. You gotta level the
Uh,
playing
uh,
field.
Hey, listen,
I,
So
everybody. Whoa. You know how we do things over here, okay? Let Duke make his point. Mia, you got to stop cutting Duke off.
you,
Duke, go
you
ahead and make
know,
your point, and then Mia, you can counterpoint if you like to, okay? Go
I
ahead,
don't
Duke.
have a counterpoint. It was just I would just want his comparisons to be on the same, playing field.
I know, but we got okay.
okay,
Fine. Let
okay.
him make his point, and then if you want to rebut that, you will be able to. Go ahead, Duke.
Okay, I remember when Maxine Waters went out there and preached, hey, when you find them in the street, push back on them, and all kind of violence incitement that she made. Okay, we're gonna get in their face, and we're gonna all that stuff. Then it's context when she says it. Okay, it's context when Democrats say it, but when Republicans or Trump says it, then all of a sudden it's taken literally. It just amazes me how we can take one. Yes, does Donald Trump say things that shocks the psyche? Sure, he does. It's a political season. Come on now. I mean, I understand it. You don't like Donald Trump. No matter if whatever he says, you're going to find a way to make it villainous.
So
It,
Duke,
that's that
Well, hang
that
on one
that.
are
second,
we
Duke.
wrong for
Hang on. You have to say that history does matter, and when he does speak, his people do take it to the extreme because we had the January 6th that was supposed to be a peaceful rally that turned into a complete, utter insurrection by some accounts. So his words do matter. And as Steph said, I'm not sure if he should be given grace considering his history.
Well, I get. Listen, in his
Would
speech,
you hang on? Would you agree with that? That he should not be given grace based on what he has said in the past,
yes, he should be given grace.
even though the last big time that he gave stop the steal, it turned into what it turned into in January 6th.
Yes, it did turn into what it turned into, but that was not
Does
because
he hold? Does he have some responsibility for what happened on January 6th?
absolutely not.
He doesn't have any responsibility.
Oh my God.
Absolutely,
Hang on,
absolutely.
Steph. Hang on. He doesn't. You don't put any responsibility on Donald J. Trump.
No,
Okay. So you put it just on the people who went into the Capitol.
personal accountability, yes.
Okay. Do you think he has influence?
Sure, he has influence.
Do you think he uses influence to stop it?
Influence to stop January 6th?
To stop what was going on? Because by all reports, he was sitting watching it like watching a movie, and they were imploring him to go make a statement to say stop this, and he refused for many hours. Now,
I'm pretty.
by your account, he has influence, right?
I have to look at what was the
By
accounts of.
your account, does he have influence?
Sure, he has influence. Yes, he
Okay,
does.
do you think he should have waited to make a statement to say this is not how we want to do things? This is not what America is about. This is the democratic, whether we think we won or lost, the violence should not be going on. Do you think he should have waited or he should have done it immediately? As the president of the United States.
I believe that he should have waited, and had listened to his advisors and let
They
him come
told him that
out
he
like.
should make a statement and he refused for many, many hours.
I'm not sure exactly what all transpired
Well,
while
we
he
saw
was
the
waiting.
documentaries and Meadows and even Ivanka, Jared were saying you got to make a statement because this is getting out of hand because they're saying let's hang Mike Pence. They're breaking into the Capitol and violence is happening. Officer was unalive, not that day, but at the day after from his injuries. And he has influence by your account, but he chose not to yield his influence.
Okay, okay. Allow me to elaborate.
Absolutely.
Now, listen.
Go
The
ahead.
office of the office of the
I got it. He
presidency.
didn't die that day. Let's not get hung up on that. Let's stay on the fact that he has influence by your count, and he chose not to use his influence to stop what was going on. And all reports, left, right, and middle, are saying he's sitting in the wherever he was sitting, watching it like a movie. And he sat on his hands as the commander in chief of this great nation. He chose not to do something to stop what was going on.
Can I ask a
Whether he
question?
was responsible or not, why did he wait to
Can
say
I ask a
anything?
question about that?
Mr.
What you
Denali, if you
Yeah.
want an answer, you're gonna have to allow me to answer.
I know, but I don't want you to talk about the office. I want you to talk about Donald J.
Bro,
Trump.
bro,
No.
bro.
Hang on, Duke.
Well, then I'm not gonna answer because you're not gonna allow me to
Well,
answer.
if
You're
you're
not.
going to talk about the police officer, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in
Bro,
why
are
did
you gonna
Donald.
allow me to answer?
All right, go ahead. I'm going to go down the road with you. Go.
Okay, listen. I understand that you think that Donald Trump sat on his hands like you said, okay? That he stood back and sat there and didn't do nothing. I don't understand what all took place. Now, I'm pretty sure he was advised. I'm pretty sure he did get reports, okay? But he's a president, okay? He has to make the right appropriate speeches and the right appropriate decisions at the right appropriate time. Now, I'm not sure if he allowed the authorities at hand to try to take care of the situation, or whoever was in charge at the moment. But when his advisors and his people uh, 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 choose to allow him to speak and come up, then that's so. I seen this same type of thing happen when Bush was in office. Why didn't he show up at this time during Katrina? Why did he wait so long? Why didn't he have FEMA come in? The office of the presidency of the United States is very complex. You know, we don't know what he was doing and what was going on at the time. We can only speculate and just say, well, he just sat back and just watched it all happen and let it just go on. I don't think that's the case.
So we don't believe the reports that he was sitting there watching it like a TV show. And Ivanka, Jared, Mark Meadows, even people that were in the Capitol calling the office trying to get him to make a statement to tell people, which a large contingency of that group were Trump supporters.
Listen, I understood he probably did see it in real time. Okay, he probably was getting advice. Hey, Mr. President, the Capitol building's being broken into. There's not too many things that happen where he don't know about it. But if you want him to run to the press room, hey, everybody, stop. You just can't do. The president doesn't operate like that. I haven't never seen a
What do you
president.
think is a reasonable amount of time that he gets real reports that because he was just at the rally, okay, it was a
Yeah,
stop the steal rally.
yes,
What do
sir.
you think a reasonable amount of time is for the president to come and say something to try to deter the violence that was going on?
I believe after the whole situation was over, then he would have to stand back and say and assess and
How many
say,
After
people
it
would
was
need to
over, not
die?
during?
no, absolutely not doing that. That he has to let the powers to be get control of the
He was
situation. You
the
got
He was
other people.
power.
just
Can I
at the
not? Can I not be interrupted?
Oh my
Good God,
God.
you're
dude.
God
transforming.
damn! Y'all always interrupt me in the middle
Whoa!
of talking. Hey man,
Everybody
look.
quiet. Everybody quiet. Duke, you have been given enough time.
I understand, but god damn, when I'm in the middle of talking,
I
really?
got you. Okay. All right. Let's stop. Okay. Hang on. Duke, did you finish your point? I want to make sure you
No, I
guys.
did. No, I did not
Okay.
finish my point.
I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to finish your point, and then we're gonna move on to the next person. Go ahead, Duke. You got 30 seconds.
Damn, the president of the United States is not a person. Look, you got people who are trying to come up and try to communicate and try to tell people to stop and do other things. He's the president. He's not the king. He doesn't have the ability to just come up and say everybody just freeze and stop. You know, he has to come up at the right time while his advisors and the podium has to be set and all that stuff. You know, it's easy for you to say, hey, I would be the president, just run to the nearest mic and tell everybody stop, and automatically they're just going to stop. That's not how it works. I've never seen a president ever do that in any situation at any time in America. You didn't see Bush do it during 9/11. Hey, let me just run to the podium and just make a speech.
Well,
You know,
I think I'm going to just speak on that for 1 second. I think they were trying to get Bush to a bunker because they didn't know exactly what was going on. But if you're at the White House and the Capitol is being run over after a rally you spoke at is happening and you're getting real time reports, what are you sitting on your hands for? Just a
that's
thought.
right.
Just
That's
a
right.
thought.
You're absolutely right. It's an out of control situation that's happening at the time.
And they
So
weren't
what you're
saying
telling
that
us, so
Trump
what
should
you
go to. They weren't saying Trump should go there. They were saying Trump should make a statement
where was
saying.
Trump at? Where was Trump at while the rally was happening? Where was he at?
I guess he
He was
was
in a
in the
hotel room nearby.
at
From
the
what
White
I
House.
heard, from what I heard, he was in a limousine. That's what one lady said. He was in a limousine, and then he tried to reach over the Secret Service and pull the steering wheel towards the Capitol. Did anybody hear that
What was he
nonsense?
going to do at the Capitol? In your
This is
opinion?
what I'm talking about. One people say he was just standing there watching it.
No, I know. I'm saying,
Another
but
people,
in your mind, why was he trying to go to the Capitol?
this in my mind, he was not trying to go to the Capitol.
Well, you said he grabbed the steering wheel. You know
No,
what you
I
just said?
said this is I said that was a report by somebody. I believe it was one lady who said Donald Trump was in the back of the limousine and he was trying to reach over the Secret Service to grab the steering wheel. Has anybody ever heard that?
I
Has
heard
anybody
something
else
about.
heard that?
Okay, hang on a second, Duke. I think let's. I want to make sure you had your opportunity to speak. I don't want you to call and say I don't ever
Yeah,
let you
sure.
speak.
Yeah, that's it, bro.
Okay, great. Steph, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
As the commander in chief, he had every opportunity, limousine, media room, at the rally. He could have made that a peaceful protest. He stirred those people up purposely so they would go down there and raise a fuss and try to get the election stopped, the conveyance of peaceful power stopped, and he enjoyed every minute of it, and that's why he didn't stop it. Ivanka asked him to stop it, Jared asked him to stop it, Mark Meadows asked him to stop it, and he just sat on his hands for hours. And if you think the President of the United States doesn't have the authority at any moment to go live on all platforms, you're wrong.
Thank you, Steph. Appreciate you on that. Uh, I know Karen Land, you have something that you wanted to read. You said I saw you in the comments. Is that correct? Karen Land.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. What did you want to read, ma'am?
This is testimony from the Secretary of Defense at the House Oversight Committee about January 6th. And Miller testified
Is this
that during
Homeland Secretary or is this the actual Secretary of Defense?
the acting Secretary of Defense, Christopher Miller.
Okay. Go ahead. I'll allow you. Go ahead. What do you want to read from that?
He testified that during the insurrection, he did not speak with former President Donald Trump. He didn't need to. I have all the authority I needed, and I knew what had to happen. And he didn't speak
Does the
to my.
Secretary of Defense have can he do anything here on U.S. soil, or does that come down to the Homeland Security? I'm not
Well,
sure.
according to this, he said that.
Maybe Duke can answer because he's a former vet. Duke,
Okay.
do you know about that, sir? Duke,
I'm sorry. I was getting a phone
do
call
you
at the
know?
time.
Does the Secretary of Defense can he command the Army to go on U.S. soil, or does that come from the Homeland Defense, Homeland Secretary? You know?
Oh, that's going to be jurisdiction at that moment because D.C. is not a
Oh,
state.
that's right.
It's
Okay,
it's it's a it's a
it's a
shoot, I
district.
forgot. Yeah, it's a district. Who has jurisdiction at the time that when the Capitol building is being breached? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in play. Okay, so yeah,
Wait, I'm sorry.
that's
Jurisdiction of what?
No, I'm
there
saying
there.
who has jurisdiction? Does the Secretary of Defense have jurisdiction of the United States to put the army on the ground, or does that
Army or
fall
National
under?
Guard?
I'm talking about. Well, National
Well,
Guard comes from the governor, but there is no
No,
There
not in
is
governor.
no
DC.
governor in DC.
In
There's no
DC,
governor
it's
in.
So
yeah,
it's the
there's
it's
no
the
government.
president is.
president. That's the only National
It,
Guard that reports
I mean,
directly
I've
to the
read this on
president.
the website, on the actual, National Guard website. It's the
Right.
president, also the Secretary of Defense.
Okay, so I was just trying to make sure what Karen Lang was reading because she's reading a transcript of the January 6th committee and the Secretary of Defense. And Karen Lang, you can go ahead and continue your statement or what you're reading from the January 6th committee.
Okay, it says that former U.S. Secretary Christopher Miller testified he was concerned in the days before January 6 that sending troops to the Capitol would fan fears of military coup or fuel conspiracies that advisors to the president were advocating for martial law. He said doing so would cause a repeat of the deadly 1970 Kent State University shooting. We all know what happened there.
Right.
And then it said his appearance came as he confronted criticism from members of Congress that it took 3 hours and 19 minutes to get approval from the Pentagon to send in DC National Guard to the Capitol. However, he refuted that timeline. He said, according to his testimony, provided he was aware of the breach by the time DC Mayor Bowser called on Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy at 1:34. Nearly 90 minutes later at 3 p.m., he approved the activation and mobilization of the full DC National Guard to assist the Capitol Police and the Metro Police Department. So Donald Trump didn't have to, he had, the Secretary of Defense had the authority to do what y'all are saying. Donald Trump didn't do anything. The Secretary of Defense had the authorization to do it.
Well,
But the
I don't think I was saying that he should. I'm saying that Trump didn't. They wanted him to make a statement to say stop this, whatever. And according to reports, he was sitting there watching it like it was a movie.
Yeah, but do you think the people that were running around the Capitol were they were probably taking videos? Were they waiting for a
I
speech
guess I'm
from?
just saying, as a president of the United States, he could have done more to attempt to not have this be a full-on breach. Because these are his people.
Let me say something
Right,
right
he
quick.
could have, but
Hang on, Duke. Hang on, Duke.
But my point is, I mean, for months we've been hearing, oh, he didn't do anything. He did. It was his. He's the president. He should have.
Do you think he did everything he could to prevent and or mitigate what was going on? Karen Land.
I think in wanting to bring in 10,000 National Guards the week before.
I'm saying in the moment, do you think Trump did everything he could as commander in chief to help mitigate what was going on as the Capitol was being breached?
I don't know that there's people saying that he was sitting there watching it.
I'm asking you, do you think he did everything he could as the most powerful man on the planet? Do you think he did everything he could to help mitigate that?
If y'all say he could have gone on social media and calmed things down, he probably could.
I'm just asking for your opinion. Do you think he did everything he could to help mitigate?
I thought he did, but it's just my opinion.
Gotcha. Okay.
I got something I would like to say about that.
Go ahead, Miss Natasha. You have the floor, ma'am.
So, Does anybody know how many people were accused of being on the Capitol that day? Can somebody run the number real quick?
9,000.
9,000. So in my mind, I was thinking maybe it was 200,000 because we are talking about Washington, D.C. And Washington, D.C. is supposed to be, or we have the illusion of it being the most secure place on earth. Meaning, because our president resides there, there are multiple layers of security that is unspoken. That if this should happen, because attacks are not always announced. Um, so if something were to happen where 2,000, 10,000 people should descend on Washington, I hope there's a unspoken plan that automatically goes into place that protects the homeland, the Capitol, the White House, and all of these buildings. So sometimes when I'm listening to this January 6th insurrection thing, I get a little sidetracked because those people had to have a permit to even gather there. So they knew they were going to be there. DC is broken up into a grid. So any one time from aerial space, they can look down and see how many people are congregated in one area in order to protect the homeland. So even if they decided at the last minute, oh, let's go in here, there should be some mechanism already in place to protect our monuments, right? That's a
Can I
question.
speak when y'all finish?
No, I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Why
asking
they
a
have police
question.
there?
Yeah. Can we go in order maybe instead of
Yeah.
being,
All
yeah.
So
right.
if
Okay.
if that's the
Natasha.
case, if that's the case, how was 2,000, 9,000 American citizens able to get that far into the Capitol and do the things they're accused of doing?
Okay. I think Moose is up, and then after Moose, uh, Bird Dog, did you have something a question or anything?
No, I just said that's why there's police there. I
Okay.
mean, you're not allowed to demonstrate directly around the Capitol at all. If you look at a demonstration map, it of DC, it shows you where people are allowed to demonstrate and where they're not. And basically, all around the Capitol, you're not allowed to demonstrate at all.
So how are these people able to get that close that they could overtake the Capitol?
So,
This is
so what are you
this
trying
is
to
the
say,
I'm
Yeah.
Natasha? That it's
asking.
other people's fault?
Well,
I mean,
okay.
come
No,
on.
I'm
Okay. Hang on a
What are
second.
we,
Hang on a
what are
I'm
we
second.
asking
talking
you.
Moose,
about?
Moose,
Jesus
Moose,
Christ.
Moose. Natasha asked the question. What is the question? Let's let
She,
Moose see if he can
she's
answer.
not asking a question. She's monologuing about
But let
trying to
me see if she.
excuse it away
Moose, Moose,
what
Moose,
happened and how Donald Trump was
Moose,
responsible for
Moose.
not
Let me
doing a damn thing.
Moose. Come on, Moose. Don't let me. And I say, do you have a question?
I just asked the question. Like, am I speaking a foreign language? I
No,
asked
no.
the
I'm
question.
saying, what's the question so everybody knows what the
The
question is?
question is, how were 2,000 people able to insurrect our capital? Was there not anything in place in case something like this happens? We all know this is what we do.
Okay.
This is
I mean, there's
automatic.
literally a
Like
police force.
when you walk into a hospital and you're having a heart attack, there people are trained to know what to do before the person in charge tells you to do it because we are what trying to save this person's life. So we are defending our homeland. Was there nothing
So you're going to ask
automatically?
your question and
I'm
answer it
asking
yourself.
no because first of
That's
all because you
exactly what you
came in
just did.
hot. Because you
Hang
came in
on.
hot, I'm gonna make sure that you understand my question. So my
Yeah.
I
question again
completely
is,
understand your excuses for Donald Trump. I
Moose,
that's why I'm gonna
absolutely
Moose,
make
do.
sure you
Whoa,
understand my question.
whoa. Natasha, please
Yeah.
ask the question so
I
it can
just
be
did.
answered. No, I'm saying I just want to make sure that everybody you want to know how did they were able to get infiltrate? Weren't there things in place to stop this? Is that your
So
question?
I guess my question then would become, if 2,000 people got together and had a plan that they were going to do something to the Capitol in the middle of the night, it wasn't a rally, it wasn't anything, they just got together. I would hope the Capitol has some mechanism or plan in place to protect them
Okay. Moose,
without
what's
being told from the president what to do.
Okay.
all
You
right,
called
Moose,
my
go
name.
ahead.
Great. Thanks, Natasha. Great comment. I appreciate it. The last thing I want to do, and I shouldn't have been such a wise guy. I shouldn't have been so cavalier in responding. What does that sound like? That's Donald Trump today. Wrong. That's not Donald Trump. When he made the bloodbath comment, him and his minions continue to excuse away his behavior. That's Joe Biden, Dark. And he made a call to leaders of the black community, and he took responsibility for what he said on Charlemagne's podcast. He said it was the wrong thing to do. He shouldn't have done it, and he apologized because he understands the bully pulpit. He understands where he's at and what he does. Donald Trump is a child. He doesn't understand what his voice and the actions that he takes has consequences. Okay, that's the difference between a real man. I'm not done, Natasha. A real man and a president and a leader of a country, Joe Biden, and the difference between Donald Trump and excusing away what he said.
Moose, we were talking about January 6th. We kind of got into
it. But
I mean, the question that Natasha has is how is it they were able to infiltrate where they're not, she says, mechanism.
Okay, now we can move past Dark's, oh, Charlemagne, the you're not black. Okay,
we're not talking about
hopefully
that.
we put that to rest finally.
Gotcha.
Okay?
I mean, it'll still happen, but I get your point.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what Natasha is asking, which I think is a legitimate question.
Well, here's the bottom line. Donald Trump, I'm in charge. I run things, and I'm draining the swamp. I'm this guy. I put things together. I'm a big businessman, so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden, he says, it's not my fault. Not my fault. I didn't, nobody told me. Nobody told me. All of a sudden, and
what I'm saying, but Moose, I get it, but how is it that how could 2,500, 5,000, whatever the number was, how were they able to gain access to the Capitol?
Who knows? Maybe people
the
just didn't
we don't
realize.
know.
Here's the truth of it. These folks aren't bringing viable information. Folks like Natasha, they throw things out there to deflect from the fact that the leader of the free world couldn't take control of something that was going on in his backyard at a rally of his own.
Do you not think that's a legitimate? Do you not think that's a legitimate question?
No, he refused to do it.
No, I'm saying
it comes out weak.
Okay, let's forget Trump for 1 second. Is it a legitimate question of how could 2,000, 5,000 people do what they did? Why are there mechanisms put in place to make
nobody expected the president of the United States to tell people to go to the Capitol.
I beg to differ with you, Mr.
I'm sorry, Natasha. I'm right in the middle of something. I know you're a subscriber. I get you're a subscriber.
I'm not a subscriber.
She's not a subscriber. She's a moderator.
And a moderator. And for some reason, that
she's
means
not,
that you can interrupt folks in the middle of their.
Hang on, Moose. She's not a subscriber. She's a moderator. Okay. And I think she had a legitimate question.
Well, I wasn't done with my point, but okay, we'll allow her to interrupt and deflect. This is what they do. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Well, do you want to answer the question?
You're asking me?
Yeah, I'm saying because I thought you were going to
answer the question the question that I was working on, not Natasha's interrupting me.
No, I understand that, but the question that Natasha had that was on the table. Do you have an opinion, or do you have?
I was right in the middle of that when she interrupted. But we'll move forward because I don't want to sound like Dark and whine the whole time.
No need for name calling.
I'm not name calling.
You say he's crying. I don't think Duke is crying. I think Duke has a particular.
I want to say hi to the guys at Rikers Island. They love you, by the way.
Yes, my guys up in Rikers. King, I hate Trump.
Anyway, I'm trying to bring some levity because I don't want to get sideways with anybody. But here's the thing. He says he's in charge. Okay, so nobody expected that the president of the United States would call people to go down to the Capitol like that. And you have 9,000. I mean, typically in everything that we have, when an election is over, people that have class, people that are or were, the leaders of the free world do not have this type of behavior. The stop the steal, the entire thing. This just didn't happen on January 6th. There was a lead up from the day the election was open, prior to the election coming, it's rigged, it's this, it's this,
I'm
it's this,
sorry, you're
and
not
getting people
answering the
into a froth
question.
and getting people to a froth, and then
Mm.
nobody really thought that the president of the United States would be this irresponsible. Okay, so of course people aren't sitting here going, well, we don't want to overreact, so
Mm.
we're not going to bring the National Guard in, because the first thing the Trumpers are going to say is that, look,
Excuse me, I don't know no
it
situation for Washington D.C.
Hang
not
on.
to overreact. This
I'll
is
jump
there
in
we go.
here. Can
insane.
I get
This
can I
is
Okay,
get
listen.
some?
insane.
Hang on a second. This is a situation. I don't think Moose has an answer. I'm going to give
Right.
Moose. Hang on a second. I'm going to give Moose 30 seconds to finish what he's saying,
I
and
don't
then
know what is the question. I
Oh
think
my
it's an
God.
are
The
excuse.
there
It's not a
question is, how
question.
mechanisms
does
in
it
place?
happen?
Are there mechanisms in place to make sure something like this wouldn't happen?
Of
How
course. I
could
mean,
two,
how
how
many
could
times do you have to watch document? The January 6th committee said this, and that. Nobody thought it was a credible threat. Everybody thought that
so
it would
I
not go
guess with
down like
that
that.
being said, are you saying that 2,000 foreigners could come and take over the Capitol?
We're not talking about we're talking
No,
about
no, I'm
American
saying,
people.
but
People
to
thought it
me
was
it
going
seems
to be
like there's a
peaceful.
to me it would seem like there's a security breach that could
Okay,
happen.
Denali, here's my answer. People thought it was going to be peaceful. Okay, that's why
It doesn't
there are
matter what
mechanisms
people
in place,
thought.
but
I
they didn't rise. They
hey,
didn't feel that it rose to bring in all these folks in. That's it. I mean, that's all I can tell you. What else do
okay,
you want
And
to
great.
the
All
know?
right.
minute he realized it was
Go ahead, Mia.
the minute he realized it was not peaceful, why did he take 3 hours to give a speech?
Exactly.
Okay, this is what I'm
Can
trying
I
to
can I
figure.
say something?
No,
Did
no.
you see Nancy
This is what
Pelosi,
I've
I'm
been trying to
saying.
Chuck
get in here to
Schumer,
say
I'm
something.
losing
Mike
control,
Hello?
Pence?
everybody.
Hold on a second.
I,
Let
No,
me
this
finish
is
my
no,
comment. All
wait,
right.
Moose.
Okay.
You
Go
hang
ahead.
on
Go
one
ahead.
second, Moose.
Everybody,
All right.
Everybody mute for 1 second. Okay? Moose, you don't have an answer to the question. Did you land your plane?
I just gave you an answer.
Okay,
Nobody thought it was going to rise to this.
gotcha.
Yes, there's mechanisms in place, but
Okay,
nobody thought it would happen. And so the folks, maybe they made a mistake and didn't bring enough folks. Whatever. I mean, there are mechanisms, and it
okay,
failed. But that
gotcha.
doesn't excuse the fact
No,
that
it
Donald
doesn't.
Trump told people to go down the
It
street,
doesn't excuse.
and this thing went crazy.
Gotcha.
I mean, what are you trying to say here?
Okay, great. Okay, Duke, what say you, sir? Uninterrupted. Please don't interrupt Duke.
I'm gonna say this, okay? Even if Donald J. Trump, the moment he seen the actions that was happening at the Capitol, would have ran to the microphone and said, "Stop, freeze, don't do this." People was already upset, already inflamed. They wanted to go in and stop the process. There was nothing a city if the Capitol Police couldn't stop them, if the National Guard that was there couldn't stop them, there was nothing. One man, a president, when people were not watching the monitoring screens, they was not looking at their cell phones, they was actively breaking into a Capitol building. Now, what do you want the president to do at that moment? Send in the National Guard and start pew pewing? Send F-16s? Send the Capitol? Then he would have been looking like he was overthrowing the government. He came out, first thing he said, I want a peaceful and respectful protest. He didn't say, I want you to go break into the Capitol building and stop the motions that was on the floor. Okay, that's not what he said. He could have showed up at the Capitol building, put his hands up, said, stop. People are accountable for their own actions. Their own actions.
That's true. And
They have,
Karen
so
Land, is there something in the committee paperwork that you have, the transcript that says how long it took for Trump to respond?
No, because whenever they asked him, did he speak with him, he said, I didn't need to. I had all the authority I needed to, and I knew what had to happen.
Okay. All right. Do go ahead and finish your point. 30 seconds.
yes, people must understand when any of the and Attaché is trying to understand, ask y'all a question that is already understood in Washington D.C. Washington D.C. is the most secure place on the planet. You don't. The president of the United States don't need to come out and say a doggone thing. It doesn't matter if it's an American citizen or a foreign entity that enters the Capitol building or the White House. There's contingency plans that are already in place. You don't have to call it, hey, President, can you come out and ask the people to stop? You don't have to do that. It was already seen that there were people that was there gathered and assembled. There's already things in places just in case a riot happens. They don't have to think about react. They're supposed to already be proactive.
Okay.
So
I
to
want to make a
blame
point.
one man,
I've
so
been
to
quiet this whole
blame,
time.
I'm calling pretzel on you. That's all I can say.
I don't give a damn what you call Moose. You never been in the military, have you?
Oh,
In the military, we don't get caught by surprise. We have contingency plans. So does the police. The Capitol, you just can't walk into the White House or to the Capitol building and them not knowing, for one, yet you're coming from a mile away. Number two, if something does happen, that they're just like, oh, well, what do we do next? Should we call something? There's not no shit we call. It is what is happening at the time. So, I understand that you hate the president of the United
I don't
States.
hate
That's who it
anybody, by the
was.
way.
he's
At
I
not
don't
the
the
hate
current
anybody.
Hang
president.
on, hang
Okay,
on.
I understand you don't
10
like
seconds.
Donald J.
10
Trump
seconds.
I
at the
don't dislike Donald
time.
Trump.
10
Donald
sec.
Trump
10
has not
don't.
even been
seconds.
in my radar every day.
Bro,
Moose.
you're one
I
of the
think
most childish people. Bro, you're one of the most childish people on here that's
here
like
we
to
go.
Oh my
interrupt
God,
people.
So
dude.
are we ever
You
going to
know,
get to the
May I
point
speak?
where
bro,
I
shut
don't need to
up.
be insulted,
Stop talking.
Denali?
Okay, I'm going to
Stop,
insult you
please.
since
I'm
you
gonna have to say this,
insulted me
Denali.
by
Yeah, I'm gonna
over
say this,
talking me.
Denali, to you personally, okay?
Man,
You
this is
allow
why
these
you love to
people to say
overtalk
things
people
to folks.
anytime because you want your voice to be heard over everyone.
See what I mean? You allow this guy and other people like him to come in here and disrespect me, and the minute
No,
I say something in the negative to him,
Moose. Do
then
you
then
really
you
think
jump my shit
Moose?
about it.
Moose. Do you think?
I'm calling you out a little bit on this.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not gonna
Tell me. Okay,
sugarcoat
great.
it.
Okay, Moose. You calling me out? Tell me what Moose that dark.
He just called me
Do.
a child. He said, are you in the military? Blah 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 blah, and you
Okay.
allow it to go on. Okay, I'm trying to have a conversation
Now,
here,
would
and
you
then
also say?
Natasha
Would you?
interrupts.
Well,
So
would you?
I
Would
mean,
you
I get
also?
it.
Would you also say that you called Duke something too?
Okay, so good.
I'm not saying that it's
some.
correct.
Okay, then why?
But
All right.
listen, listen to me.
Here's a conversation I don't want to get into with you. It's your platform. You run it how you want. But
Are
let's
you
be fair
so?
about it.
Would you say that you said anything about Duke other than
You're
talking
my
about
buddy,
Duke?
Denali, but I'm calling you
You're
out,
my.
bud.
That's
I'm
fine,
okay.
and I'm trying to rectify because I am not above reproach.
Take control of
Do I
those
get
two.
it?
That's
Do
all
I
I'm
get
asking
it
you to
right?
do.
Do I get it right every time? No. But when you
No,
call me
take
out,
control of Natasha and Duke, okay? But because they
but
take
Moose,
control of the platform.
you're the one that has been interrupting too.
I'm interrupting you now because I'm
No.
upset.
You interrupt Duke, and you interrupted Natasha, and she did the same to you, and Duke did. All
Well, here's
three
the
of
thing.
y'all,
Okay,
all three of y'all have interrupted each other.
you want to
It's
understand
not.
the reasoning why? Because you
It's.
allow him to monologue and monologue and monologue,
I gave him 30 seconds
and he went on for
because
45.
we're not we are not going to come to an answer. So I said, hey, you got 30 seconds.
I get
Moose,
it.
you have 25, whatever it is.
I don't need any time. I made my point. I'm good.
Okay, great.
I'd like to make a point. I haven't hardly said anything.
Go ahead, Steph.
Okay. There are people saying that he said peacefully protest. On the day of January 6th, this is some of the things he said. We won this election and we won it by a landslide, which was a lie. We will stop the steal. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. And then he said, if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. And then he says, peacefully and patriotically, make your voices heard. He ginned them all up, and then he said that to cover his ass. So I don't care what any of you say. He's the only one that the DC National Guard reports to. He could have sent them to the Capitol. They were not at the Capitol that day. They were in DC. They were not at the Capitol. He could have made that happen. He could have done a million things that he did not do. He chose not to do. And I cannot think of another leader in history that allowed citizens to attack a Capitol building or any building in our Capitol and stood by and let that happen for hours without doing anything. So y'all need to stop making apologies or exceptions for his bad behavior, because it was bad behavior, period, and it should not have happened.
Agreed with
Okay,
that.
can I respond now?
Yes,
Because
you can. Yes, you can, Natasha. And then we'll go to Mia. Go ahead.
so first of all, Mr. Denali does not have to get a hold of us too, Mr. Moose. That's not appropriate to say. I do not interrupt people often on this platform. And if I do interrupt you, it's because I asked the question and I posted to everyone on the panel, and you stepped up to answer the question, then proceeded to monologue. You never answered. So if you didn't have an answer to the question that I posed to the panel, maybe you should have given someone else the opportunity, because maybe somebody else had an answer. But then you get mad because you feel like me and Duke, which I don't know how me and Duke got into that category, because again, I'm mostly listening here. And then you
Okay, can I
tell us,
answer her?
no, you can't, because I'm not
I don't think.
finished.
Oh, I
I'm not
can't.
finished. No, I'm
So
not
you're going to
finished.
make an accusation.
I'm
I
not
had an
finished.
answer. It just wasn't the answer that you wanted to hear.
I'm
So that
not
doesn't mean I'm wrong.
finished.
Okay. Listen. How
You see
about
how self, you see how far self-control goes? I said, sir, I'm not finished. So you should give me an opportunity to finish before you give me an answer, right?
Are you asking me a question if I should do that?
Oh, that was a
I
question.
I would personally give you all the time you need. But once you started interrupting me mid sentence of what I was trying to answer your question, all that went out the window. So yeah, bad behavior and
how
bad
about
behavior is
this?
not good. I agree.
How about we give everybody a clean slate and not let's go back 3 minutes ago. Okay? So from this point forward, let people finish what they have to say, and then we'll go like that, as we have done in the past. And this morning is kind of getting a little wild in here. People are interrupting when they should not be. But I understand it happens, and I try to do my best to make sure it doesn't happen, but I am not perfect. As I said, and I've been saying, I'm trying to be better yesterday than I was today. Natasha, you may go ahead and finish.
Well, my question was, do we believe that there are no contention plans, that if something should happen at the Capitol, whether it's foreign or domestic, there's nothing already in place, order like standing orders to protect the homeland? That's what my question was. So we don't have to go ask Mr. Trump. They are climbing in the windows. Can you do something? There's something already in place to stop people from climbing through the windows, is what I'm asking. And if the Capitol Police didn't have the capacity to meet that type of force, that means our homeland is not protected. It's one of the two. That's why I was asking the question.
Okay. And I don't think anybody has
Can I say something? So you want a contingency plan for something that has never fucking happened before.
Calm.
Six Saudis can hijack 4 airplanes
That's what they
and
told us.
and fly them into the World Trade Center. And you're asking, well, why didn't we have a contingency plan for that?
No,
Like, this
I
is
didn't
such a
say.
childish conversation.
Okay.
And it's
First of
like,
all,
it's like
Whoa!
victim.
We're not going to interrupt. Let Dirty Dog finish, and then Natasha can respond to that. Duke, you got to wait until after Natasha responds. Birdie, go ahead.
I mean, it's just a childish conversation. And it's once again, Republicans victim blaming. Oh, well, she shouldn't have wore that short skirt. That's what you're saying.
She shouldn't have been
Why
pretty in
did
public.
something never
Hang on one
happen
second,
before
Steph. We
in
got
the
to
history
not
of our
interrupt
country?
each other. I don't want to
Why
whoa
should
everybody,
that
but come on.
Why should something that never happened before in our country we should be prepared for? You know, they were not even supposed to be at the Capitol.
And up until the January 5th, they reported to the Interior Department they had no plans to go to the Capitol because they checked.
Are you done?
So what is the contingency plan for?
First of all,
So to answer me that, why didn't we have a contingency plan for the World Trade Center?
I'm going to answer you, but first of all, we're going to establish this right now, me and you. Do never get up here and call me names. Do you understand? Do not
What name did I
What
call you?
name did he call you?
Oh, here we go.
Hang on.
Listen, let me tell you
This
something.
is the victim
Hang
blaming
on, hang on.
again.
Let me find out what she thinks you said.
I can speak for myself. And
So you're going to
this is
play the
not a
victim.
game.
Birdie Dog, let her say what
I'm
it
not-
is that
I'm
she
not
thinks you
playing the
said.
game with you,
What did you
sir.
say? What did he call you, Natasha?
First of all, he said this is the most you're being childish.
No, hang on.
And
I'm
when
going
you
to stop
use the
right
word-
there.
Hold
Hang
on.
on. He
All right,
said
wait.
this is a childish argument.
You need to
I
go
don't
back
think-
and watch. Listen, you need to go back and watch the video.
Okay.
And how I come up here and I talk about issues. I don't call people names. I don't use descriptive word, and I don't like it. And I think it's
I
disrespectful.
don't think he was calling you a child, though.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I'll listen to the
You go back
recording.
and listen to how
I
I'm
will.
speaking and how he's speaking.
I actually never even addressed her personally.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Everybody. Natasha, I will look at it, but from what I heard, he said this is a childish argument. I don't believe that's calling you a child. If you took late, I don't think Birdie Dog meant it in that way. I think he's saying this argument is childish, that to have a contingency plan for something that's never happened to the country.
he said something about something that's fucking never happened. All I'm saying,
Right? No, but hang on. No,
Oh,
but Natasha, I'm sorry, I gotta stop you for 1 second. You said that he called you a name.
he did.
What did he call you?
It was childish. I'm childish.
He said the argument that we're having is childish.
Okay,
And
go
we're
back
all,
and listen to
hang
that.
on. Natasha, you know I love you, but we're all having this argument. So it wasn't directly at you personally. It's calling you a child. He said the argument is childish. And we're all a part of this particular debate that we're having. So I'll go back and listen to, but I heard what Birdie Dog said about childish, and correct me if I'm wrong, Birdie, you weren't calling her a child. You were saying the argument was childish. Is that what you were implying?
That's what I said. I actually
Okay, great.
never addressed her.
That's what I heard. I'll go
never
back and
said,
listen to it. I'm
Nada
going to write it
said,
down
blah,
and then
blah,
go back
blah.
and listen to it and find out. But I don't believe that's what he said. Nada Shay, would you like to continue?
Do that in here.
I asked the question.
Like, I don't do that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I stopped, because I want to make sure the record was straight.
Again,
Nada Shay?
only thing I said was,
Mhm.
I feel like, and it's not even defending Trump, because if it was Biden, I feel like DC and our government and our military and the Capitol Police and all of the institutions that we have in the Washington, DC area, I feel like could withstand without any direction from anyone an attack on the Capitol. I think they have protocols that is automatically goes into place. That's what I think. And all I was saying was for people to kind of, before you take what the news media puts in front of you and make you chew on, maybe you should think about, maybe it's not all on the up and up. Or
Got it.
maybe it's being misrepresented to make you do what we're doing now. So when you come in and say, it's never effing happened before. Yeah, but I think there should be plans in case somebody comes in hot at our Capitol or our White House or our monument.
With that same thing, then I guess we should have known that 9/11 we should have had contingency plans for that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Think about that.
All right, that's fine. Listen, that's
is a no-fly
I got it.
zone.
I got it. But sometimes in the country we are reactive as opposed to being proactive.
We live in a free country, and part of those freedoms is to have freedom to walk around. Like, people are allowed to go into the Capitol at certain times.
Sure.
Like, this isn't like martial law. And with those freedoms comes risks.
Absolutely. Freedom
But
ain't so
that's how we
free.
choose to live.
Right.
But
I would
it was
agree.
closed
Like,
that
and
day.
it's just victim blaming.
So listen,
Like you're looking at the wrong people.
Duke said he has the answer. Duke, go ahead, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna walk outside this building so these forklifts don't interrupt so much. Listen,
I love everybody on the
the
panel. I really, really do.
definition of contingent.
The definition of
Okay, hang on, let me
contingency.
walk outside. The definition of a contingency plan is to plan for an event that has never happened. That's why, since I was in the military and since I was a police officer, we plan for unseen events that possibly could happen, may happen, but might never happen. This is why President Obama had a contingency plan for things such as COVID. It never happened in his presidency, but he had contingency plans for that. The Olympics is getting ready to come to the United States. There are
Wait. Can I
contingency.
just say something?
Hang
Like,
on.
I just want to correct
Birdie,
that one
Birdie,
thing. The reason why he had that
Birdie,
plan
Birdie,
for a
Birdie,
pandemic
Birdie, you
is
can't
because there was an
come off.
actual pandemic.
Birdie.
You see, you
God,
see,
you
you
can't
see,
cut
you
them off,
see,
Birdie.
you
We gotta
see,
go one at a
you
time.
see, you see, Democrats and their supporters don't want to hear an explanation. They don't care. They don't want to hear it. This is the thing. This is why while we're in platforms like this, they become extremely rude. They want to cut you off.
Well, I think you did the
Contingency
cutting off too,
plans,
Duke, at the same
con,
time. You cut off too.
contingency plans. In the military, we make contingency plans all the time when we go into foreign places. It's not that it's happened and we know how it's going to come out. We think of plans and think, what happened if this might happen or that might happen? In New York, there's no need for a contingency plan all the time because no one ever foreseen planes being taken over and flew into buildings. Okay, if that was the possibility of that, would then they would have had a contingency plan in place. But New York City and some of Times Square during certain times of the year are they do have contingency plans. They don't do that across America because nobody wants to live in a military state. If you want that, you can go to different countries. They have contingency plans all the time for that, and they stop people for that. January 6th,
15 seconds. 15 seconds.
since the White House has been burned down one time, late in history, there are contingency plans around the Capitol buildings and a lot of monuments. Okay, that was an out of control situation. The President of the United States is not the ruling authority in D.C. He does not have the authority over everyone in Washington D.C. He's only the President of the United States. There are people that are in power over security in Washington, D.C., and it's not the president. You don't understand the rule, the chain of authority. Who has the authority over security in Washington D.C.? That's where I land.
All right, thank you, Duke. Appreciate that. Birdie, do you want to respond? And then we will go to
Yeah, literally, it
number
says
one.
on the National Guard website that the president is charge of the president and the Secretary of Defense are in charge of the National Guard in DC on the website, so you can go read it.
Let me explain that, please.
Go ahead, Duke. 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Anybody in uniform, he's the commander in chief. But you have a
No, that's
National
not what they're
Guard.
saying. They're saying with the lack of a
Yeah,
mayor, the
Birdie,
president is in charge.
Birdie,
They're not
Birdie,
just saying
Birdie,
overall he's in
Birdie,
charge of the military.
Bird.
Listen, but
I know, but you gotta let him finish. Like he let you finish. We gotta go one at a time. We cannot continue to interrupt one another. because two people talking, we cannot hear what you're saying. Duke, you have 10 seconds, sir. Go ahead.
People sat there and heard the Secretary of Defense said, I have all the authority. I have the authority. It's under him. If you ever been in the military, you know he advised the president. He has the authority over what happens. He doesn't have to ask the president. He can use his authority as Secretary of Defense to call whatever needs to be when there's, for one, the president and that's in power, two, change of authority, which was going from one hand to the other, and three, an already situation going on in the Capitol.
With that being said, can't the president jump in and say, what are we doing? These people are in the Capitol. Why aren't we doing something to stop them? Even though the Secretary of Defense has the authority, can't the president step in and say, what the hell's going on? Why are these people in the Capitol trying to hang my vice presidency? What are we doing to stop it?
Denali, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna talk to you personally so you can understand, okay? A contingency plan means if shit just gets out of hand, Secretary of Defense, this is your authority to do this at this time. Don't wait for me to come to the podium. Don't wait for me to do anything. That's his ball.
Well,
he is the quarterback on the field.
So are we saying? So did the Secretary of Defense drop the ball?
I don't know who dropped the ball. I really don't know.
Whoa! The Secretary of Defense has the authority to do what's necessary to protect the people, right? So if he didn't put the order in, the buck stops with him. Right
now, you have to see what he was looking at. I don't know what he was looking at. He has these are his chess players on the field.
Okay.
When the president says, "Okay, look, it's a change of power."
I mean, to take responsibility away from Donald Trump, I think that's wrong. As the commander in chief, the buck ultimately stops with him, and since it happened on his watch, he is responsible.
Listen. There are several things that change of power that happens. Okay, both players.
That was January 6th. The change in power wasn't happening until January 20th. So he still has all the powers. He still has all the powers as the president. He's not halfway or anything like that. He has the full power until noon on January 20th.
Can I say something to what?
No, hang on one second, Natasha. Birdie Dog, you want to say something? I muted your mic, but you can't talk over people. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I've already refuted that argument pretty thoroughly. This is really just victim blaming. The point of fact is the White House organized this protest. It was called Stop the Steal. I'm gonna relate it to what Denali always says about Fani, right? If she didn't have that relationship, would there be this problem, right? If Donald Trump didn't continuously tell his followers that this election was stolen, your country's been taken, he organized a rally called Stop the Steal as a protest from people not stealing the country. If all those people aren't in DC at that time being riled up by a bunch of speakers like Rudy Giuliani and himself saying trial by combat, everything else, right? Would they end up at the Capitol trying to stop a democratic process, stop the certifying of an election, right? I would say there's a clear answer there. And not only that's what he wanted. He wanted the certification stop. He begged Mike Pence. He told Mike Pence, I'm sure he threatened Mike Pence to stop it.
Right.
That's what he wanted.
Ultimately,
and he was going to do any means necessary to make it happen because he wanted to stay in office.
Right. God bless Dan Quayle for talking to Mike Pence. Otherwise, because Mike Pence was on the fence. Should I do it? Should I not? And Dan Quayle told him, you don't have the authority. It's against the law if you're thinking about doing it. You got to follow the
Right.
Constitution.
And we
So,
hear how he talked to Raffensperger, right? Raffensberg. You think he didn't talk to Mike Pence that way in his office?
right. You got to do this, Mike. We need you. Do the right thing for the people.
Right.
So,
And
yeah,
if
I
you
mean, listen, I
don't,
think,
man, I don't know what's going to happen if you don't. I can't control my followers. Your life's going to
Yeah.
be a living hell if you don't do this.
right.
So
So, Natasha, because Steph, you're going to go next after Natasha. What did you want to say, Natasha, real quickly?
We keep going back to Donald Trump and Biden, and all I was saying was, um, our whole system in this country is made of people have enough authority, regardless of whether it comes down or not. People are given a certain amount of authority. If your house is on fire, the fire company comes. If they have to go into a main water break or have to do something, they don't have to call somebody. They do it because they have the authority because something is happening right now. Police, same thing. Hospitals, same thing. You come into the hospital, you think the doctors that's seeing another patient is going to stop and come give direction. If somebody comes in with this, and this, you do this, and this. It's a standing order. It's standing. So I'm just trying to get you to think, do you think our government, our military, our police, that day just lost control of the Capitol? They had no plan in place to be overtaken by 10,000. I'll give you 10,000 people, regardless of whether they were Americans, Russians, whoever they were. I don't care. If those were Biden supporters, same deal. You mean to tell me that there's no protection in place for those big buildings downtown?
No, Shay, that's a great question. I don't know if we'll ever have an answer for that. Steph, well, hang on a second, everybody. We got 42 people in the room. We're having some great conversation. Go ahead and continue to tap, tap, tap. We have really slacked off on the tapping. We should be well over 30,000 K likes. Tap, tap, tap the screen. I also need 12 more hand hearts. If you guys could do a group effort and get that taken care of. Don't forget to follow the host. Also put on a notification so you know when Mr. Denali XXL is going live. Follow the panel, gift the panel. Also, we do have a subscription where you can get started for as little as $2.69. And don't forget about my Cash App and my Venmo, because I'll say it again, that support is a verb. If you're rocking with Mr. Denali XXL and the people that help put this show on, go ahead over there and drop something. I have gotten donations for as little as $2.55. So go ahead and do that so we can continue to build the most inclusive panel on TikTok. Steph, what say you?
well, I was going to make a joke when you
Oh,
said
let's
Dan
hear it. We need a
Quayle.
little laughter.
When you said Dan Quayle, all I could think was, you mean potato Dan Quayle? Wasn't it
Who?
potato? Dan Quayle, he tried to spell potato to some kids and he spelled
Yes,
it
he did.
wrong.
You're absolutely that. Yes, Potato Dan Quayle. That's right. You're absolutely right. That was Bush two's. Oh, no, Bush one. Excuse me, Vice President from Indiana. Absolutely. Oh, is that what you want to
He was
say?
from Indiana, isn't? Don't they grow potatoes? No, that's Idaho. Never
That's
mind.
Idaho. That's Idaho. But yeah, Dan Quayle was. I don't know if he was governor or something of Indiana. Same thing like Mike Pence, because I guess that's how they knew each other through Indiana politics. So yeah. 001. Oh, Mia, did you have something to add?
Not to this conversation, but I am listening.
Okay, cool. 001. I know you've been in the comments. I know you, and you're a veteran. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm an actual soldier, 11 Bravo, who,
Who?
um,
All right.
well,
Can I say
oh,
who, even though I wasn't in the military?
no, yeah, you're okay to say
Okay, cool. I don't want to have any stolen valor
it.
allegations.
No. So now I've been involved in actual fire teams, leadership, and planning for military tactics. You do have contingencies, but there is no way to have a contingency for all situations. If you're out there in, say, a movement to contact where contact is imminent, you're prepared for snipers. If a nuke goes off, there's no contingency for that. You can't plan for everything. An attack on the Capitol like that, there's no contingency for that. And if you guys had watched the January 6th when commission, and they had and there's also a documentary. This was not a unplanned attack. The Proud Boys and the other, what is it, the other terrorist group, they went in a military style columns from one side to the other. This attack was planned, and the so-called president, or call him president, watched it on television for 3 hours. He has the duty to act. It wasn't a question of does anybody else have the authority. He had the duty to act. He had no other duty but to act. And if anybody thinks that's not true, or has I gotta say, try to explain that away, they're lying to you. The president swears an oath to protect and defend the Constitution, and he's in charge of defending the American people. He does not have he doesn't get a chance to relax on that, especially when the Capitol's under attack. That was a dereliction of duty. There was no other way to explain it. I mean, you could like the guy all you want. I don't hate Donald Trump, but I'm a American soldier. My brother's American soldier. My sister's American soldier. My father was a Navy man. My grandfather was an Air Force guy. My uncles have served. I have out of everybody in my family, 3 of us served. One couldn't because he had a scratch on his eye and he couldn't get in the nuclear power program. A family of service. We have devoted our lives to serving this country. I will not allow people who turn their back on their duties to be excused away. He had a duty to act. He had a duty to act immediately, and he didn't do it. And if you ever look at how he put together his speech to tell these people to leave, he took like 7 takes. He didn't want to say certain things in the video, and then he tells them he loves them. It was a dereliction. He let us down. If you don't accept that, I can't tell you to accept it. But as Americans, we should hold our public officials at higher standards, and the president should be held to the highest standard of all. And I'll land my plane right there.
Wow.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, go ahead, Duke.
Okay. I served with the 82nd. I also went in with, you said you was 11 Bravo, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was 6'2" Foxtrot. Okay, I was airborne engineer. I also served with 10th Mountain. Okay, and also was there with the 101st. Listen, I'm gonna ask you this: was there a contingency plan when Benghazi happened and Hillary Clinton was in charge of all the embassies around the world? Was there a contingency plan then?
Are you familiar with Benghazi? I mean, how much inside information you know about Benghazi? Because I was involved with the people who did the investigation into Benghazi. So I can't talk about all that, but I want to know, how much do you know about Benghazi, about that outpost?
Before y'all answer,
I,
before y'all go back and forth with each other, both of y'all are
hold on.
very.
I'm trying to make a point. Okay, because
I just want to know if you
embassies.
know that wasn't a military base. That was an outpost, and you know, without telling anything that would screw up my clearance, there was a lot of stuff going on from that location. But
Are you
uh,
active right now? Are you active duty right now?
no, not anymore. No.
Okay. I just was wondering. Listen, embassies around the world are in equality as to the White House, the premises of the White House and the premises of Congress in Washington, D.C. Okay. All these.
Hold on a second. Do you know the amount of security at the White House? Are you really comparing a outpost in the Middle East to the amount of security at the White House currently?
the embassies around the world are the representatives of the president of the United States in every single country. That is the duty and the role of embassies around the world. They have contingency plans the same as equal as to the White House and to Congress and all the government right there in Washington D.C. There are contingency plans in case a foreign entity or or someone who is a homegrown terrorist was to attack at any given time. Since I serve with a majority of 11 Bravos, and for those of you who in the comments, if you don't know who 11 Bravos are, they are the infantry. Contingency plans exist even if a lot of people don't know it. We have contingency plans for everything situation that may or may not happen around the world.
Before y'all answer and go any further to the military thing, because I'm not in the military and I have no answer, I can't speak on it. I text somebody that absolutely should know the answer to the question, and I said this: is there a contingency plan to protect the Capitol, the White House? Because there's a military guy saying there is no contingency plan for that, and his response to me was GTF.
Game of Thrones.
Who said there's no contingency plan?
Oh, I'm sorry, GTFOH. That's what his
Oh, okay. I was like
response.
Game of Thrones. What we got?
So wait, who said there's no contingency plan?
You just came up here and pretty much said to my
I think if
question,
you, I
they
think
don't have a
if you play,
contingency plan for everything. But what I'm
no, not
saying
for
is,
everything. Absolutely. I didn't
no,
say they didn't have a
but
contingency plan for the Capitol. They don't have a contingency plan for that type of attack at that time. No. But and I said what I said is you don't have a contingency plan for everything. If you're in the field and the nuke drop, there's no contingency plan for a nuclear warhead hitting a location, is there? Could you think of something that could stop that? Does anybody here can say that there would be
I
a
think I
contingency
think
plan
I
in a
think you're
situation
taking
like that?
big oranges and making them small oranges at will.
No,
I'm
what I'm doing is I'm
yeah.
saying that and the contingency plan is not the issue. The duty to act is the problem. The dereliction of duty is the issue.
We're
We're getting far fetched because we're looking for something to hold on to. Some of us. The
the
president's
conversation
duty was to
started.
act.
The
Period. No, no.
conversation started with us talking about
uh,
when something is happening, when the Capitol was being attacked, whose authority to do what. And I simply said that there are things in place that does not require authority. If something is actively happening, you go into a whole nother system of thinking. Just like if in the hospital right now, the way triage works, if somebody comes in, we take the sickest person first. If we go into another type of triage, then we take the best, the healthiest people first, because we can't waste resources on the sickest. So it just depends. If something is actively happening, you don't have to wait for your next chain of command to tell you what to do to stop an imminent threat.
Well, now, where'd you hear this at?
Huh?
Where'd you hear this at?
Where did I hear what at, sir?
That you don't wait for the chain of command in
This
certain
is with every
situations,
system that's in our country right now, it uses that
except for
system.
the military, right?
Well, no, that's not a military. Was that a military action? If there was an actual threat to anyone on the Capitol, not even say the Congress people, if it was one to one, an actual threat, there's a crime being committed, then don't you have the right to access the give that amount of pressure back? Don't you have to meet the pressure you're up against with the same amount of pressure or force?
Yeah, you should. And I think they should have.
So
But
so
but
why
what you're
should you
not
have
what
to
you're
wait
ignoring
for
is
somebody to
there
tell
were
you
more
that?
people at the Capitol than there were police to
Okay,
handle
so
it.
then
Wait,
don't you go
so
to the
so the
next
content
level
so
of
the
protection?
the people that are supposed to come then would be the National Guard. And the person who activates the National Guard in DC is the commander in chief. The person who was supposed to do that was watching it on the television. So, yes, you're right. The person who was supposed to do it did not do his job. He did not act. We're not. It's not up to. There's no mayor in. I mean, there's no governor in D.C. Right? The governor activates the National Guard in every state. The president does that in D.C. and for D.C. And now we turn this. This is an attack on the Capitol, which means this is a domestic, either domestic terror. It's an act of war in most cases.
Does the
The
mayor have
president,
right? Does the mayor have the authority to deploy the National Guard in D.C.?
no.
No.
Okay.
So you mean to
The,
tell me
the
if
president
if for some
is the one who's
if for
irresponsible. That's what I'm
so
telling
if
you.
for some reason one part of our chain gets a kink, there's no fail safest with the other parts?
To explain the part. So if the
I'm
president
asking
doesn't
because you're
act, if the
military and you've invoked that several times. You've invoked it
yeah,
in the
yeah. So if the
military.
president doesn't do his job, is it up to someone else? Well, yes. In this case, someone else did act. The vice president called out the National Guard from inside the building that was being attacked, from a safe location, and where he
So
was
so
hiding
when
or
he
being
called out the
protected.
Can
National
I say
Guard,
can
shouldn't
I
they
say
have
something,
responded?
please?
No, no. I'm asking Mr. Daddy a question. So if the vice president had the authority to call out the National Guard and he did it instantly when this happened and the National Guard responded, how did hours go by?
Okay, so if you'd have watched January 6th, you know,
I didn't watch it. That's what I'm saying. How I'm asking
there
you a
were
question.
multitudes of
How did it
calls
go
to the
by?
president, right,
Mhm.
from inside the Speaker of the House, the what's his name, Mark Meadows received calls. The vice president's people called. Nancy Pelosi's people called. The D.C. Police. Everybody was putting
So
in calls
again, I'm asking the
to the
question.
president because he's the first one to act when it was clear and obvious that he was not going to act. As a matter of fact, Mark Meadows is on record saying that the president wanted this. He
So if the
wants this.
vice president had the authority to
He
call out the
exercises
National Guard,
authority, but he
hold on.
can't supersede the president's authority.
Fine. Well, listen, this is the thing. You just said that the vice president called in the National Guard,
He
right?
did. He
He did.
did.
So if the vice president used his authority to call in the National Guard, if he had used it after he realized, oh my God, our Capitol Police have been overrun. Oh my God, the next common sense thing is to get help down here for the Capitol Police. And so I'm going to, if it hasn't happened in the next 15 minutes, I'm gonna call in the National Guard and see and fix it later. Are you saying that our government is set up that you have to watch unfold something like what happened on the Capitol that day, and so inept and so out of sync that we could be overrun for 3 hours before one person or one? You think that's what happened?
What I'm saying, and I'm going to paint a better picture for you. The vice president's inside the Capitol doing his job.
Right,
Those thousands of people are outside attacking, right? The
right,
president is at the White House watching it on television. Which
right.
one actually sees what's going on?
Listen, I am not
Well, no. I
arguing
want
that.
you to just
I'm not
answer that. Which
arguing
one
that
actually
point.
sees what's going on?
I'm not arguing that point. And sir, let me just say to you, if our security, do you think that Mike Pence is in his office operating inside of a bubble? Do you think
He
those
wasn't
people
in his
don't know?
office.
Do you think those people don't know what's going on inside and outside of the Capitol? Everybody that was working around the vice president,
No, not. I think that from their vantage
the
point, they could
Secret
only see
Service.
what
You
they could
don't
see.
think they knew? Because Secret Service was with
I
him that
believe
day,
the Secret Service tried to remove him to a car to get him out
right?
of the Capitol building,
Why did they
and
do
the
that?
reason they wanted to do that is because that would have halted the proceedings completely. He said,
Well,
"No, I'm not going in that car."
okay, well, I don't know. Listen, I can't testify to that, but I'm saying the systems that's supposed to be in
Okay.
place to
That's
make us
when they
believe
started.
the systems that are supposed to be in place when we get up and say we are the safest, most securest nation. That's all I'm asking. Is this stuff not taken care of at that level? If
Well,
we have a vice president that has those Secret Service men around the vice president should have known inside and outside and all around that building what's going on. I think we're getting lost in some
No,
narratives
I
here.
think we're conflating. Think we're conflating the job of the Secret Service with the job of the Vice President and the job of the President. I think everybody's honest, dishonest can say the person who was responsible to act. Oh my God, I don't know what just happened.
I'd like to
The
ask Daddy
president
some
was supposed
questions
to
in
act.
a minute.
Okay.
I got an echo from that call.
You sound okay, Mr. 001. Okay, let's try it and see. And you can finish your point, and then we'll go to Moose. Well, Duke, you had something beforehand, Moose. I think you chimed in with something. Did you? Is that right, Duke?
I hadn't chimed in, but I would like to. Look,
Well, let
it's
Moose
just
go first, and then you can go. Cause
okay. I'm gonna let Moose. I like to hear what Moose got to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, Moose, go ahead, sir.
Is Daddy O available?
I think he's listening, but go ahead. What you
Yeah,
got?
I'm gonna wait till when he comes back. He's probably gonna have to go out and then come back in. But I have questions for him real quick because I want to.
I have an echo. I'm going to drop, and if you can bring it back up, please.
Okay,
Right.
great.
And my
The
questions
gentleman
are
that said
directed
I
at
had
you.
an orange
Okay, hang on one
ring,
second, everybody.
you're out.
Let's bring a fresh voice. PK has a lot of information. He's a former law enforcement down in Florida. PK, I know you have a lot on this. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, yes. First of all, Duke was correct. The secretary works under the pledges of the president as it relates to the National Guard and activating and calling them up for duty for these type of situations. Now there would have been a contingency plan for this actual insurrection, not for the Capitol Police Chief. Massey Waters had an hour conversation with him as early as December 31st. She had concerns that there would be some type of violence because of the emails, the internet back and forth, all the intel that they had received over the period of time after Trump lost the election about the buildup and the roundup. So she had concerns with the Capitol Police. The Capitol Police then solicited opinions from the Sergeant of Arms from both the House of Representatives and the Senate. The Senate Sergeant of Arms decided, hey, we'll be okay. You know, we can handle it at our level of the security that they already had in place. However, the House of Representatives Sergeant of Arms, because you mind you, Massey Waters is a Congress lady. So the House of Representatives Sergeant of Arms say, yes, I think we do need the National Guard activated to assist us. So then there you have it. So the Capitol Police push back and say, no, we don't need it, because the Secretary of Defense, which was Chris Miller, was having a back and forth like for 2 days, asking the Capitol Police, hey, what's the deal? Do we need National Guards called up for the Capitol? So then he said, no, we're okay. So there was an effort from the Secretary of Defense. Now, Donald Trump is a different situation because, of course, Trump is not going to sit down and do the planning phase of it, but he has the ultimate authority to sign off on it. So then what happened was the mayor role was to ask for National Guard support for her contingency, which was to assist the Metro DC police, which they did authorize 340 National Guards to help them assist with the trafficking, searching, and they also had a QRF team at the airbase in the event something was to happen. Those National Guards, it was 2 shifts. So 340 split down the middle. Those National Guards had no ammo, no weaponry. They were just there to, again, assist with traffic and search and all that stuff. But the QRF had weaponry for obvious reasons. So when that thing happened at Jan 6, there was no activation. Those guys were already activated, but they were rerouted from their contingency plan to go and assist with the Capitol. Because you can't do no one-day activation. It takes time. And so that's the deal with that.
Okay, PK.
So as you see, okay, it wasn't just Donald Trump sitting around watching the TV.
Duke, I'm
Hold
gonna
on.
stop you right there. I'm gonna stop you right there because Moose had a question for 001, and I wanted them to flush that out. Moose, what's your question for 001? And then once they finish that, then we'll get to Duke. Go ahead, sir. Moose.
001, I have a question. Let's say you're out in the field and the shit's going down and you're getting overwhelmed, right? And the President of the United States is standing there next to you. He walks away and they're asking him to do something, get you help and to save you, right? He walks away, goes to a secure area and watches it for 3 hours, and then decides, okay, well, I guess I'm going to do something. What do you think of a person like that?
I think he's unfit for that job. Can you hear me? I got a
Yeah,
weird
you're good.
phone.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the reason we put so much how can I say responsibility on these people, they have to always operate at a high capacity. Things happen quickly. Things that happen all over the world. You know, we only see what we see. You know, I'll give you an example. When Barack Obama was dealing with the racist birther issue, certain people, I don't have to say their names, claimed he didn't have a birth certificate and had people looking for it. He did a press conference where he produced his long form birth certificate, and he was cool as a cucumber while he was doing that. At the same time, SEAL Team 6 was over taking out Osama bin Laden. At the same time, who would have thought that that operation was going on? So they have to be able to work at a high capacity and do a lot of things at one time. If you have soldiers in the field that need help, you have people attacking, even American cities, but the capital right there, he's got to respond. He doesn't have the option of let's see how this goes. So we don't do our country a service pretending that the man that we put in that seat doesn't have responsibility when things like this happen. In this case, he called those people to Washington. He put out all these tweets about how it's going to be wild. He did his speech where he mentioned fight, 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 fight for your country like 20 something times, and he said peaceful one time. He said he was going to go down there during the thing. He's tweeting. Mike Pence didn't have the guts or whatever the heck he said. He egged these people on. He ginned them up. They're out there erecting gallows. I don't know if everybody knows what gallows are, but they weren't out there playing. He's watching it on television. And then it takes him, literally like 2 hours and 48 minutes or something like that to respond. And the response, I encourage everyone to go and watch the video of him putting together his response and what he didn't want to say. Oh, I don't want to say that. Oh, I didn't want to say that. That doesn't sound right. I wanted to, and he farted around and let that happen. People were unalived that day, and after that, there were police officers that couldn't hack being around anymore. After, I mean, this wasn't a small thing. We shouldn't dismiss it as a small thing. And I think that right there shows the character of the man. And he was, when you're tested in a job like that, and we're not going to get into COVID, but I believe he failed the biggest test on his job, and he failed it miserably and publicly.
Wow, Daddy 001. Daddy O is what your name is. I keep forgetting that because it's hard for me to call another man
Hey,
Duke. Hang on one
Thank you.
second, Duke. Let me give Mr. O his prop because he's come in and he's spoken with authority. It sounds like he has some inside knowledge that he can't go in because he doesn't want to mess up his security clearance. So definitely, sir, I thank you for your voice on this topic because we've been going around, and PK as well, and Duke, and Birdie Dog. They all have a different, and Natashay, all have a different perspective. But I think that Daddy O came in with some good knowledge and some good facts and things like that. Moose, did you want to respond to that, or did he answer your question?
No, I'm fine. He said it
Okay,
all.
great.
Hey, I'm
Duke,
gonna have to drop down because I'm at work. I don't know if you guys hear all this equipment, but I'm inspecting a site right here. I'm listening, and I'll try to come back if I can later.
thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
All right. Yes, sir.
Duke, you wanted to respond, and then we will go back around. Go ahead, Duke.
We can catch up.
Let me first of all answer that question that was posed to Daddy. Okay, if the president was United States right there with us in a firefight, I believe that's what his question was, and things was just going bad, and I believe that was your question, right, Moose?
Moose.
I'm sorry, I
Moose.
wasn't paying attention. What was that, Duke?
Pose that question. Pose that question again. I want to get it correct.
I'm okay. I
Well,
I asked
I
my
think
question
Daddy.
to an
I think
authority, and I'm
Daddy
good with it.
answered it.
Well,
You
I'm
disagree
going.
with his answer, Duke?
Yeah, I
You
disagree with the
disagree with his
answer
answer?
because
Okay.
yes, I do.
Oh wow.
Because
Okay.
if the president of the United States, who's the commander in chief, is right there with us, or any leader is right there with us during a firefight or during a situation, and the leader cannot make a decision, he stands around for supposedly not 3 hours but 3 minutes and can't make a proper decision. We have leaders that's going to step up and make a decision for him. We don't sit around with our thumbs up our up our fourth point of contact and wait for a leader to make a decision. That has happened before in the past in actual battles where a command has come down from the President of the United States. The leader can't make a decision. We don't wait. We have plans in place. We have another leader step up, even if he's under him, and make what's called a command decision. So the president is not the end all say all if he can't make a decision. Not in the military, it's not. Remember, the military is not a democracy. It is a dictatorship. So we do not sit around with our thumb up our ass and just say, well, the president's sitting there waiting now. We don't know what's going on. There are contingency plans all over the world that is in place in case something happens. Now, I don't know why we keep going on about January 6th, and I'm gonna say this: let's just put all the blame on Donald Trump.
Hang on
Let's
one
just blame
second.
Donald
Hang
Trump.
on 1 second, Duke. Stick has a question for. He says, so who should have called the National Guard, in your opinion?
At this point, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna place blame on Donald Trump. That's gonna be the end of it. We're gonna still elect him as president. We're still gonna elect him. We don't care who you thought was at blame. We don't give a damn no more. Okay? We're sick and tired of hearing about January 6th. We're sick and tired of hearing about.
Why are you sick and tired of hearing about January 6th?
Because man, look, you right now you're whooping a dead horse. You really is. You're not gonna
Don't
say.
we have to
You know,
talk about history
we're
so it
saying,
doesn't repeat itself?
look, check this
No?
out. We
Do we not
said
have
that
to
it's
talk about
not.
history so it doesn't repeat itself? And it
Sure,
wasn't
yeah,
that
of
long ago.
course,
It was just
of
3 years
course.
ago.
Yeah, it was just 3 years ago. Do you think that there's contingency plans right now in place in case something may happen on November, what is it, election day, I think November 4th? Do you think there's contingency plans in place?
Absolutely, because I don't think a large scale what happened on January 6th will happen again, but I think it can happen in smaller venues.
Well,
Well,
it may happen in smaller
Denali,
venues.
when I
It
get
may
a
have.
minute,
He just can't help himself.
No,
It
I
may
was just
happen.
He was
asking him
talking to
when
me
you
saying he
finish.
had
I'd
something
like to
after
ask
you
a
were done.
question. I'm sorry.
It may happen. It may happen in smaller places. There's smaller municipalities that can take care of that situation. You don't have to wait for the president of the United States to make a decision on smaller municipalities. Okay, but here's the deal. Okay, y'all can continue to talk about January 6th until the day of the election. We don't care. We're going to still vote for Donald Trump. We're
Right.
not trying to convince you either way that it's Trump's fault or that it's somebody else's fault. You're just loving to hear yourself
So
talk
you don't
about it.
so you don't like to
I think
talk
I
about
thought
you
you
don't
guys
hang on
brought
a
this
second,
up.
Birdie Dog. Duke, you don't like to talk about things that have happened in the past with history?
I love to talk about it, but my goodness, we've been talking about it for now 3 years.
I know, but again, things that have happened in the history, do you not enjoy talking about it or think they should be talked about?
Look, I love talking about history, especially when all the facts have come out. But listen, the
Yeah.
facts are out. Okay, one side has not. Donald Trump has not been charged with insurrection. That's a fact,
Yes,
right? Right? Is that a fact?
that is a fact.
Thank you. That's it.
All right, Moose,
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Moose.
He doesn't like talking about history when it pertains to Donald Trump and his
Right.
dereliction
Well,
of
yeah. I mean,
duty.
I was trying to make that
Well, I
point.
can talk about history when it comes to
Oh,
Biden.
you're
How
going to
about that?
interrupt me like you
Hang
say that
on.
I
Yeah,
interrupt you?
I am
Okay.
going
Duke, you
to right
said
now. But when I
Duke,
talk about
you
Biden,
said
yeah,
that
I
you were
will.
done at this moment, Duke. Don't cut Moose off. I'm not going to allow him to cut you off, and you're not going to cut him off either. I've let a lot of stuff go today. This is not how we generally run the live, with people cutting people off. And I'm going to ask everybody to respect everyone else's voice and let them finish, even if they are monologuing. Because we all monologue. No one is on here has not monologued. Moose, you may continue, sir.
Yeah, I'm glad we have a contingency plan for if another president derelicts his duty. So that's awesome. That's what came out of this whole thing, basically, what Duke's saying. We got a contingency plan. When a president doesn't do what he should do, and he runs the show. Everybody knows that. You can sit here and blow sunshine up my ass all day, but I'm going to tell you, we know who runs the show. It's the president of the United States. Wherever he's at, near or far, everybody looks to the president. And to tell me that he could make phone calls to get folks there and do some of the things that Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mike Pence, and everybody else that reached out, he sat on his ass and watched it unfold. And then he finally was pressured into saying something. So I'm okay. We can stop talking about it because I think we've made our point how far the Trumpers will go to get their guy.
Hey,
Denali, can I say something before I leave,
hang on
bro?
one sec. I got to do a commercial. Tap, tap, tap the screen. We got almost 50 people in the room, and the tapping has really slacked off. I need everybody to tap, tap, tap. Let's push this out to the For You page. Continue to share the live. Continue to follow the panel. Follow the host. Set the notification so you know when Mr. Denali XXL is coming up. Also, I need 12 more hand hearts. If we could go ahead and make a group effort on that to gift the host, I would definitely appreciate it. Follow my backup page, Mr. Denali XL, trying to build that up just in case anything happens to this page. Also, don't forget about my Cash App and my Venmo. Any denomination will do, because like I've been saying, I will continue to say, support is a verb. I have got donations as low as $2.55. So if you guys could go ahead and drop something in there, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much. I want to hear from my good friend. We went out this. Wait, what happened?
No, I
Who
thought you were
said
gonna
that?
get to me. I said I was gonna go. Then you said you hold up for your commercial.
Well,
I'm leaving. I was gonna say something on the way.
oh, you okay? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Your final word. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, man. The president being on the battlefield does not antiquate to the president being in the Oval Office in terms of making decisions. And number two, it's not even practical that he will be on.
Go ahead, PK. I was just.
Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me, PK?
Okay.
Oh, you got to echo, PK. You got to echo. You must be getting a phone call.
Yeah, I'm back. I fixed it.
Go
I'm back.
ahead.
Okay, so yeah, those are false. That's a false scenario. They can't even. It'll never happen that the president be on the battlefield. So that's not even a question that can be entertained. Number two, someone asked, well, who should we have called that day? Again, people, you cannot call the National Guard on the day of an event because there are things that need to be put in place in order for said person to be available. National Guards are weekend warriors, so to speak. They don't go to the National Guard Army every day and work. They have a small contingency there working just to keep operations going. But by and large, they are regular people like me and you. It's just only on the weekends that they actually go to their drill sessions. So the contingency thing is you need to identify how many personnel you need, the names of the personnel you need, and you need to activate in order on paper saying that these particular individuals are activated. So if nothing could have been done by way of activating anybody on said day of January 6th. That's why they were planning it out as early as December 31st. And again, as much as I hate Trump, It's not Trump's fault that the National Guard wasn't activated for the Capitol Police. It's the Capitol Police fault because he didn't foresee this thing rising to the levels that it did. Point blank.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Thank you, PK. I definitely always appreciate your voice. Thank you so much. Former law enforcement down in Florida. How's Mrs. PK doing? Well?
Yeah, she's doing great. She's doing great.
Fantastic.
Looking good as ever.
Fantastic. I'm going to drop you down and let Big T up, okay?
All right, thanks, man, for having me.
All right, great. JP, I want to hear from you. You're back. How are you?
Good, good. There was something in the comments a while back that was directed at Nadashay that was really inappropriate. And
Really?
yeah, I just want to let her know that I checked that guy and it looks like he left. And then Duke
I
Vader,
muted him
when
for the entire live, so that's probably why he left.
yeah, Duke Vader, when you came into this live and Mr. Denali was talking about a date he had, you said, "Oh, did you tap that? Did you get to second base? You get to home run?" Da da da. Sir, I'm right below you. I'm the one that went on the date with him, and that was cringy, man. Don't do that. It just it's the same kind of crap Trump would say about women, and now I understand why you're a Trumper.
Well,
Okay, let me respond to that. Let me respond.
hang on. I'm going to let you respond, Duke. JP, I will say that, yes, Duke did say those things, but I think that he was saying in a playful way. I understand if, it came across because Duke has that ability sometimes, but he did at the end say he was joking.
Doesn't matter. It's inappropriate.
I get it. I just wanted, he wasn't, I don't think he was being completely serious. Am I right when I speak for to say that, Duke?
Okay, I don't live in a world of being sensitive. I was joking. If you took it the wrong way, hey, listen here. I apologize, but ma'am, I don't speak in sensitivity. Now I joke like that. I'm a man. I'm going to ask a man on the platform. Hey, you get that? If that ruffled your feathers, if it bothered you that bad, hey, listen here. That's how I talk. You're not going to tell me how to talk. I'm not going to change.
Well,
I'm going to do what I do. But I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a real man right there.
Well,
I don't give a damn who. I don't give a damn to you who I am. Listen to me. All of you. Hey, go tell your children who are real men.
Dude,
I'm
just
a real
say
man.
you're sorry.
Ma'am, listen. I said to you, ma'am, I'm sorry. Okay, but to whoever else don't like me, I don't care if you like me or not. I really hope you hate me. Really.
Well, no one hates anybody.
I don't hate anyone. And we've been on here for like 3 hours. I didn't say anything at first. I just let it slide. But when I saw that comment, which you did not do, another man did, directed at Natasha, then I was like, nah, this is not going to fly.
Right. Well, no, absolutely. And Duke, he was joking and he did apologize. Duke says he says things forcefully and sometimes you don't see the humor. But he did apologize to you and hopefully you can accept his apology.
Mr.
Yeah,
Denali,
I
when
totally accept
someone
it.
qualifies an apology with, if that made you feel
I
some
understand.
sort of way.
I got you, but
Steph, you
I'm going
want me
to
to go
stand up
there?
for
You
my
want me to go there,
friend.
Steph?
no, we
Steph.
don't want. No, we.
You want me to go there, Steph?
No,
Bring
Duke.
it. Bring
Duke,
it, dude.
Duke, come on, buddy. We're not
Now
going to do that. We're not.
I try to be cordial to everyone. Now, am I going to please everyone? Am I going to appease to everyone? Look here, I try not to offend everyone on this panel. I really do. But am I going to say the right thing every time? I sure. And I don't give a shit if a lot of people care about what I think. I really don't. If I say something that offends you, if I say something that offends you, then I will take time to apologize. But if that doesn't float your boat, hey, you know where you.
Hang on one second.
Steph, you know where you could put it.
Everybody, quiet.
You've allowed him to soapbox all day, Denali. It's ridiculous.
I don't give a shit. You know where you can put it.
Mute.
Okay, Steph, you said what are you saying to me, Steph?
You've allowed him to soapbox all day.
I think everybody's soapbox. Everybody thinks that nobody. No, stop talking.
That's completely
Everybody thinks,
unfair.
stop talking, Moose. Everybody thinks when you don't like what's being said that that's soapboxing. Everybody does it. And I do my best to make sure that it doesn't go on too long. We all have opinions because none of us have any authority over anything. Unless you're reading from actual transcripts like Karen Land did, this is all just people talking about things that they read, things that they heard, and things like that. It's a lot of it is opinion. And yes, do people soapbox? Absolutely. Do they monologue? Absolutely. I try to do my best to keep control of it, but I just don't like when people are talking over one another. Duke is Duke. You know what you're going to get with Duke. I'm not going to let him disrespect anybody. He apologized, and that's what we got. That's what we got. But
Yeah.
I did want to read. I did want to read a comment that Honey says. She said, "We know Duke doesn't respect women. Let it go. He is who he is."
I just pointed it out to him, and I mean, I don't want to keep going and going and going with that. I appreciate the
Right.
apology. I just
I
want
would just chalk it up to consider the source, you know?
There you go. I mean, listen. If you listen, you understand who. Like Honey just said, Duke is who Duke is. That's who he is. I as a 50-year-old man, cannot. Now, I don't want him to disrespect anybody, but I can't regulate how he says stuff. And if someone calls him out, if he apologizes, he apologizes. Now, I agree when you qualify, it can lessen the apology as opposed to being a full-throated apology. I 100% agree with that. But, he did say sorry at the end, and hopefully I believe that it was sincere, that he was not trying to offend anybody. That kind of question that he asked is something probably that would be asked in the barbershop or in the locker room. Is it right? I don't know, but that's sometimes how men do speak. I don't know. I'm sure, Moose, wouldn't you say that's a little bit of how guys speak behind the scenes
No, it's
in the bar?
inappropriate. I'm not going to justify
Come
it.
on,
I'm a
dude.
man.
Listen, Moose. Are you saying that when you were younger and you went out and another man didn't ask you if you had sex with the woman?
We're not talking about me. We're talking about
No,
he's in a
because you
room
said
full
it's
of women.
inappropriate.
Oh, he's in a room full of women,
Oh, come on,
and
Moose.
that's not an appropriate thing to
Well,
talk
he
about. It
did.
really isn't.
Didn't he apologize?
I don't. But then he clarified his. The other day I came in here, and I apologized directly to Natasha. I didn't make excuses. I said I was out of line, and that was that. I didn't say,
Right. Okay.
but you, or it was a joke. Oh, nothing. I just said I was out of line, and I apologize for my behavior. End of story.
I don't remember what you apologized for. I think was it
I
talking?
didn't clarify what I was apologizing. I simply came in and said I'm sorry, and
Okay.
I said I was out of line, and I left it at that because you know what? No one makes me do anything. I did what I did because I
Sure.
did what I did, and I took responsibility for it.
Absolutely.
So,
I know that JP. I hope she knows that I wouldn't let anybody disrespect her.
Hold on,
well,
can I do that real
it's
quick?
hurtful though that you're defending him a little bit.
That I'm
I would say.
defending Duke.
That's what I wanted
You're,
to say
Hang
before
on a
y'all.
second.
you're
What am I?
defending his behavior.
Whoa! What am I defending Duke about?
You're defending his behavior,
I
and you
said to
dismiss
you.
it.
You said.
You're not going to.
Go ahead.
Hold on. You mind if I finish? I'm saying you defended his behavior by saying, "This is how guys talk. This is how men." I don't like being drug into that because that's not how I talk. I have
And you
3
won't.
daughters or 2
You
daughters.
won't. You won't answer the question.
I'll answer the question. When people
Okay.
ask me that,
So when
I look at.
you were a single man, and you took
I'm
a
a
woman
single
out.
man now.
Oh, I thought you were married. I'm sorry. I thought you were
No,
married.
I'm a single man now.
Can we stop for 1 second? 1 second, real quick, Mr. Denali, because I think you have to remember we're on an open platform.
Mm-hmm.
We're on an open platform, and so I just believe that Mr. Duke, you're on an open platform, and it's not your platform because you used to have a huge platform and you had to grow your platform, and that's what Mr. Denali is trying to do here. So I think this type of subject matter and who said what
Okay.
about it should just
All right.
stop right here
Okay.
because it's a
But
matter of it's.
how did you respond to that,
I think that Mr.
Denali?
Duke should apologize.
How did I respond to what?
To what Duke said to you?
I think I just laughed.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes
I
it's
took
just
it as a
sometimes
joke,
the-
and That was
But I
it.
think he should
Yeah, sometimes the
apologize.
juice isn't worth the squeeze isn't worth the juice, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Like
sometimes I'm
you
not going to
can't
go
fight
down a
every
particular
single
road
battle.
because it's not, listen, I was talking about this on Saturday. There are guests who come onto the panel. I understand who they are, and everybody can't be handled the same way. Would you
Right.
guys agree with that?
Well,
I
can I
would
respond to
agree.
your question
I would
that you
agree
asked me?
that
No, I think
Mr.
if it's
Duke
going
should
to be about
apologize.
the joke that Duke said, Natashé is absolutely correct. I'm not going to go down the road.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, you asked me
let's
what I
dead
would
it.
do, so
I
I'll
got
talk
you.
about that.
We're going to dead that. Duke
Okay.
apologized. I believe that JP accepted his apology. I spent some time with JP, and I hope that she thinks I would never let anybody disrespect her in my presence.
Yeah, well, there was a young lady that was on here, but she dropped. I don't know if somebody dropped her or if she dropped herself because she was trying to say a couple of things. So that's why I'm saying you're growing a platform here.
Right.
Mr. Duke should be more than willing to apologize if he's going to negatively impact your growth. That's it.
Right.
So
He
if the
did.
lady
He did.
felt
He
like,
did.
if she
The
felt
lady
like
left
what was
because she
said
felt
was,
offended.
if she was offended by it, then you apologize, but not apologize and then justify why you said it. That is not
No, you
appropriate.
said there was a young lady who left. She was offended by what Duke said.
She was trying to say, she was trying to go in on that and a little bit. And as a woman, I'm just saying you could just apologize and move forward, not apologize and justify. It just kind of
Got
negates
you.
the apology.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was Steph that
Hey,
left.
hey, Denali.
Man, I don't. Okay, listen. We're done
Good
with the
Denali.
afternoon.
conversation.
Good afternoon.
Denali.
We're done with it.
Denali. This morning you came into a live and you offended a lady and I had to apologize for it. Okay. It's we on this social media app, we're quick to get offended at every little thing. You didn't mean to offend that lady. I was the catalyst behind it, and I apologize on your behalf. Look
Right.
here, everybody is so sensitive nowadays. Now,
Well,
when I first made the statement, I backed it up by saying I'm just joking,
you did.
and then
And
I
I
came on, and then the lady spoke. I said, look, it was just a joke, and I apologize. What I take back is when you take my apology and use it as a weapon. Okay, then I'm going to push back. Now I'm gonna say this again, ma'am. If I hurt your feelings or if I offended you, I apologize. Am I looking for any kind of recognition, or you trying to demean me as a man, or anybody else want to say something else? I'm gonna address them. But to you, ma'am, personally, I'm gonna apologize.
okay.
I hold up to the highest order, women up to the highest order, regardless of what anybody thinks. But I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm gonna say my thing. I'm a joke, and if I do offend somebody in my jokiness, but then, hey, I'm apologize first. If you can't take the apologies, then okay. No, I ain't gonna say what I'm gonna say. That's it.
Okay. Great. Thank you for that apology, Duke. I
I,
think JP, do you want to say one last thing?
well, I just want to say that I accepted his apology. I wasn't ranting and raving. I just
No.
wanted to point it out to him.
Hmm.
And, let's be done with it. Now, I wish I hadn't have said anything because now we've
No,
kind
you're
of,
fine.
but
Listen, you can say what's on your mind. Everybody has a voice
yeah,
over here, and we'll flush it out.
yeah.
But
I mean,
that's it. Go ahead.
I'm a big girl. We can move on from this. I just
Absolutely.
wanted to point it out to him. And,
He is 5'10". I saw that on Sunday when we went out. So yeah, she's 5'10". She is a
yep.
very, very strong young woman, 100%. I saw her strength. I saw her story, and she has definitely a story to tell. Her advocacy is she's doing some great work. She's changing lives.
Well, thank you
So
for that. And I
being
would say
out with
for
her
you.
let me know that I should not complain anywhere near the amount that I do complain because she has had her tragedy and she's fighting through it. She's persevering and she is changing lives one life at a time. She
Well,
opened up a new uh, what is the center in Cobb County? It's called
it's a family advocacy center.
Family Advocacy Center to
For
help
lack of a
women.
better word, it's a family, uh, oh gosh, now I can't even think of the word. It's a family
Okay, take your
justice
time.
center.
Right, where people can go who are having challenges in the DV space, and believe me, it is a problem in
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
And JP is trying to do her little piece to give back because people helped her in her time of need, and she is doing good work from
Well,
what I saw and read. So
well,
yes.
thank you for that. But what's going to be your next topic? Are we going to talk about Miss Willis behind you?
Listen, I think Trump is always on the ballot, or yeah, he's on the ballot, but he's also in the ether, the conversation. Biden, border control. We got a lot of different topics that will continue to be big going into 2024, as well as our relationship talk and our date kind of when you. That's a good question. Hey, who else is a woman on the panel? Would you all? Because what JP did, she said, "Hey, she'd like to take me out." I tried to pay. She wouldn't let me pay. The waiter took her card. I wasn't able to pay. The other two women, I think we have Caroline and Natasha. Would you all shoot your shot if there was somebody that maybe you were interested in and not wait for that man to say something? Either one, Caroline or Natasha.
No. I
No?
mean, no. Well,
No.
yeah.
Yes? No?
Yes. I guess we would.
Okay, hang on a second. With that, have you ever shot your shot? Because I always see here women say, "Oh, I would pay," but then when you ask them, they've never paid. So,
I
would you
paid,
shoot your shot, and have you shot your shot at a man that you may be interested to find out more about?
I paid for the hot dog yesterday, right?
No, no, no. Hang on. I got you. Have you ever saw a man that you said whatever and made an advance to to get to know that man better, ask him out on a date, first meeting, or what I'm saying, you initiating trying to get out with the man?
No, really.
No.
Not for serious. Like, no,
Why
no.
not?
I don't know. It's just not. Yesterday I was making a joke with you, and I was like, "Oh man!" When I got off the live, I was like, "Dang, that was a bad joke." But not really, because I'm not. If I'm interested in somebody, I don't know. No, I've never really done it, but maybe I should.
No, I'm saying, but is
I've
that
never
stuff
done
that you
that.
thought about? Because you're in my age bracket. um have you thought about it, or
Yes,
would you just sit and
I
wait for the guy to make a move?
yes, I like somebody, right? And I like them, and I kind of like would treat them nicer than I would treat other people. But as far as me walking up to them and saying, "Hey, let's get together," no, I have not done that. But I have liked someone and kind of been a little bit more open to anything that he might have put down. But I didn't never just go and say, "Hey, I think we should be together," or what's your number, or can we go out? Never, no,
Is there a reason why?
I don't know. I just never did it. I don't know why I didn't do
Well, and
it.
we have an agreement that if we go out again, then Mr. Denali's going to pay.
So here's another
Hello?
answer.
Hello?
Here's another woman that can possibly answer that. Because, like I said, I've never done it. I don't think it'll be a big deal for me to do it, but I've just never done that. Here's another lady who can answer.
Well, I'm going to be 60 next April. So I'm not really dating hugely right now, but in the past, I have definitely, if I had an interest in someone that I was around a lot and I knew I liked, I've definitely like said, "Hey, let's go." Back when I used to drink, I would say, "Hey, you want to grab a drink, or you want to, go catch a cup of coffee or something?" Because if you don't, I guess when you get older, you realize if you don't let somebody know that you're interested, then they might not even know. So if you don't shoot that shot once in a while, you know, so. I don't, like I said, I don't do it right now, but I have in my past, definitely.
So, like, when I was saying by talking to the gentleman and telling him about the Costco, it yielded him eventually. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I have indirectly though, because by telling him about us talking about it, it yielded him asking me later on. But as far as just walking up to a man, and it's like, yeah, you want to take me out? No, I don't. I've never.
That's